Quest. This is a brainchild program of the World Bank, very innovative, and this was not disseminated. It was piloted in Tirunelveli Medical College. So I thought I will use this platform to disseminate what is TANQuest. So for this, I invite Dr. Shantaram, Additional Director of Medical Education, who was behind this journey of how this TANQuest structured into the HSRP. Over to Dr. Shantaram.
It's there. Already. Yes. It's on. I thank the Honorable Principal Secretary Health, the Project Director TNHSP, and the Director of Medical Education and Research for having given this opportunity running since 2019. So, to the audience, I'm here to introduce the journey called TANQuest, which has an OR which will be presented by Dr. Charles, who is coming next to me. This journey, I had Dr. Rajshekhar, the professor and head of the department of professor of Ophthalmology Regional Institute, who was a nodal officer in the DMER, Dr. Sudarshini from the Institute of Community Medicine, Madras Medical College, Dr. Meenakshi Sundari, who was a team leader in TNHSRP and now is in the DMS, Dr. Eril Ramya, who is a nodal officer of the Integrated Health Professional Training Center at Tirunelveli, Dr. Pabita Devi and Dr. Charles Panruban, who have done the OR program. Next slide, please. So the entire process started in the year 2019 when the World Bank brought in the P4R program, and there was a lot of discussions which was happening in Chennai regarding continuous professional development programs. So at that point of time, Professor Rajshekhar, who was there in the directorate as a deputy director, called me up for a discussion. That is when this process started, and that eligibly starts from the, that basically starts from the a case study that discusses a problem resulting from a mass casualty in a medical college, which was reported in the press. There is some commotion in the casualty because of some communication error that is occurring between the intern and the bystanders, and that leads to a lot of chaos, and all that was reported in the press. Next slide, please. So, what is the reason for such an issue is basically, though we had a lot of good infrastructure, and even now we are the leaders in health infrastructure as far as the country is concerned, but there is a gap in the quality of the health working force in terms of soft skills or non-core skills. The gap was primarily to be addressed by means of quality training, but when we did an analysis, we found that the quality training was happening as discrete, isolated efforts across the board. And the major gap was being addressed individually in discrete pockets in different institutions. So what we needed at that point of time was a repeated in-service reinforcement of such soft skills or such non-core skills. And that led to the creation of an intervention called as TANQuest. Next slide, please. So TANQuest was actually planned as a district-centric, which shall capacity build the regional workforce through continuous deployed in the districts with assured quality and standards. So here, when we talk about the word self-sustaining, we have four major issues that need to be addressed to make any program, anything self-sustaining. That is a strong leadership, a sustainable execution or a sustainable implementation policy, the commitment of the stakeholders, and alignment of the stakeholders. So these were the four major issues we took in account when we prepared the implementation. Next slide, please. So in 2020, we presented to the government of Tamil Nadu the implementation microplan, where we put in the policy framework, a governance structure, then of course the board of studies and the accessible training facilities we are going to develop, the regional resource persons which were institutional in character, and a user-friendly e-learning platform. Next slide, please. So an operational workflow was put and the government order was issued in 2021, which flagged off the first process of TANQuest. Next slide, please. So basically, when we talk of TANQuest, I need to put in case two major issues. One is the trainers of the TANQuest were not from outside the institution. We were very clear on that. The trainers had to be developed within the institute. The training modules were structured for the entire state. And the training has to be conducted in the institution as a self-sustaining model by the institution itself, and the processes and the outcomes and outputs of the training had to be assessed by the institution itself. So, basically to explain it very clearly, we made it a point that external support or external nudging would not be part of the implementation process, so that the institution took the responsibility and run the program, that it could become self-sustaining. In the model, we wanted to pilot it, and the piloting we selected Tirunelveli Medical College. For that, we required a teaching resource. We took up the medical education unit at Tirunelveli Medical College and upgraded it as the Integrated Health Professional Training Center by adding up some AV aids and few resources. So that again was very cost effective, not much of investment was done. And a single pilot course of effective healthcare communication was selected based on a needs assessment or a gap analysis which was done among the doctors, nurses, paramedical staff and other staff inside the medical college and the hospital. So then the next step started. Next slide. In 2023, a board of studies was created where we had members from Tirunelveli Medical College Hospital only. That's a very interesting intervention we did. The members were from that institute who created the curriculum, had modules prepared, TOTs were prepared, training SOPs were prepared, and schedules were prepared. Line listing of the targets and contents, everything was aligned, and all of that was brought to the Board of Studies at the Directorate of Medical Education, and approvals were given. Next slide, please. Once the HPTC, the Health Professional Training Center was ready, the training of trainers started, and we had a set of trainings across the end of 2023, where 20 medical officers, 30 paramedical staff and nursing staff, and other support staff, almost 50 trainers were trained under the aegis of the Tamil Nadu Health System Reforms Program. And our PD, our previous PD, Dr. Govindarao sir, he came all the way to see how the program went. And all these certified trainers were given a schedule. Next slide, please. They were given a schedule, and parallelly, online modules were also prepared using the DPH resource, what is called as the NALM 360. Next slide, please. And parallelly, we also worked on an online platform. The online platform is almost ready and is ready for launch, maybe in the coming month. Next slide, please. The Board of Studies prepared all the models, right from the PowerPoint presentations, handouts, everything was standard and was approved by the Board of Studies and given to the institution for implementation. Next slide, please. So, the program was run for almost 6 months in the medical college, where 1,270 faculty and other staff were trained. Their outcomes were assessed, and parallelly, an operation research was also introduced into the program. Next slide, please. So, I am not talking about the operation research results here because Dr. Charles would be presenting that. Next slide, please. And finally, the IVQEI visited the Health Professional Training Center at Tirunelveli, and an evaluation was done. And finally, the program pilot was approved for the final award of grants. Next slide, please. To carry it forward to the next line, the mentor is 10 master trainers were sent to IIPH Gandhinagar for the launching of the phase 2 of TANQuest, where protocols were again revisited. A lot of changes were done in the protocols. And next slide, please. The TANQuest 2.0 is now ready to launch. Now what we have done is, there are now 4 IHTCs across the state. There are 4 more that has been proposed in the upcoming season. A TANQuest website is ready for launch, where the didactic part of any training will be launched for everybody to see, train, and get certifications. The healthcare communication module has been now extended to 3 more, is being proposed to be extended to 3 more districts. There are 3 new modules that are proposed during this year to be developed. And now TANQuest is a recognized training window for the Tamil Nadu health system. Next slide, please. So, I have just put into the nutshell what TANQuest as a journey was, but the carry home for the entire process is, it is not just a training, it is not just a soft skill training that has been occurring in our medical system for many years. It is a self-sustaining, institution-driven, what you call as the health workforce pervasive, continuous professional development that we have launched. I think Charles would be, Dr. Charles, who is already there. Yeah. So Dr. Charles would be giving us what he has assessed about our program as a part of the OR. Thank you so much.
Slides. Myself, good morning all. Myself, Dr. Pabita, and Dr. Charles were the co-PA for this operational research analysis of effective healthcare communication training, which was piloted at Tirunelveli Medical College Hospital. So this Tamil Nadu Quality Enhanced Structured Training, that is the TANQuest program, aimed to enhance the healthcare professional skills through the structured training program, as pointed out by Dr. Shantaraman sir. The effective healthcare communication was prioritized based on the feedback of the stakeholders. So our research discusses with the input, process and output of this TANQuest project, which is piloted at Tirunelveli Medical College Hospital. Our objective were, it is to evaluate the organizational approach in preparing and implementing the training module and assess the perception of trainees regarding the training process, content and the benefits. Then identify the barriers in operationalizing the training and the strategies to overcome. So after the formation of the State Advisory Committee and the State Administrative Board by the TANQuest, a Board of Studies was constructed. This Board of Studies was designed in such a way that they were the experts in the module of the effective healthcare communication, So they developed the content of the module, the teaching learning methods, and the evaluations which were standardized and certified by that particular domain experts. These contents of the modules were in alignment with the prescribed standards of National Medical Council as per the competency-based medical education curriculum. This Board of Studies derived the number of the modules for the doctors. It was about 7 as per the requirements, and for the staff nurses. And for the paramedicals, the number of modules was reduced to 4 as per their own requirements. So these Board of Studies, they developed the trainers of that particular institution, trainers of the training, that is about 20 doctors and 30 staff nurses and 10 supportive staffs. They were trained as trainers by structured capacity building. These institutional trainers avoid the need to travel out of the work for training purposes. So the TANQuest is a self-sustaining program by institutionalizing the continuation of the training. These trainers trained the other staff, doctors and the supporting staffs. Next slide, please. Next. These are the 7 modules under which the courses were conducted for the doctors, and it was reduced to 4 by the supporting staff. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide, please. So this is our second objective. That is, we describe the perception of the trainees in terms of the process, the content delivery, the perceived benefits, gaps in training, and scope of instrument. This was the study design we planned was the explanatory sequential mixed method study. We evaluated the outcome following the Kirkpatrick's 4 level, that is the reaction, learning, behavior, and the results. Next slide. So to describe, we first indicated the process indicators was the number of participants attended. We aimed at the 75% of the staff nurses as well as doctors has to be trained, but we trained more than what we planned to achieve. Next slide. Regarding the staff nurses, the proportion of sessions we planned was 49, but we were able to achieve this target even with the 39 sessions. So it was about 80%. Next slide, please. So regarding the proportion of workers, that is paramedical workers trained against the target, that was they planned to travel 1,250, including all the doctors, staff nurses, and paramedical workers. But they trained 1,272, which accounts for more than 101.8%. Next slide, please. So in this doctors, about 91% of the doctors were trained in the TANQuest, effective healthcare communication. Next slide. The staff nurses, about 83% of the staff nurses were trained. They were planned to train about 75%, but they were able to train about 83% of the staff nurses. Next slide, please. Regarding the paramedical workers, that was a very much, they had difficulty in training these paramedical workers because of their workload and getting them from the work. So the planned was 75%, but they were able to train only 69%. Next slide, please. In the paramedical, the supporting staff, they were able to train about 86%. Next slide, please. Regarding the reaction to the trainee, we have developed a number of questions, this reaction with the help of number of questions asked during the session, frequency of the mobile phone used during the session, and what are the group and activities, their interaction, participants' interaction in the role play and simulation and games. So we given the mean. In this classroom interaction was more among the staff nurses compared to the supportive staff as well as the doctors. Most of the staff nurses, they were able to correlate their real-time experience with this training, so the interaction was more. Next slide, please. So it was more, that is in frequency of participation, the mean was 28 in cases of staff nurses. Next slide. Regarding the paramedical supportive staff, The interaction was more, but the number of questions asked was less as depending upon their knowledge. Next slide. So but the smartphone usage was high among the doctors, and it was to the minimal amount regarding the staff, but it was very much low among the staff, supportive staff, because of their maybe their work or the lack of mobile phone with them. Next slide. Regarding the assessment of given the pre-test questionnaire regarding the same modules, and we also had the post-test square in all the groups. There was a significant difference in the mean score between the pre and post-test score in all the groups, both doctors, staff nurses, and the paramedical workers. Next slide. The post-test evaluation exercise, majority, we asked about their work experience. Most of the doctors as well as the staff nurses had more than 10 years of work experience. Next slide. Regarding the relevance of the training to the work, they told 98% of the doctors and 96% of the staff nurses, they told that course was relevant to the work, and they were willing to use the learned skill in their following work experience. That was high among the doctors, about 97.9%. Next slide. 94% of the participants, both doctors and staff nurses, felt that the content which was delivered during the training was well balanced. Next slide. 89% of the doctors felt that the course expected their expectations, and 95% of the staff nurses felt that they met the expectations. Next slide. Next slide, please. Regarding the recommendation to the others, most of the doctors felt that we will recommend this course to our fellow, and the staff nurses also recommended the same. Next slide. This side. Regarding the skills learned also, they told that the skills learned was with the expectation as when they came for the course module fulfilled their expectation. Next slide. Regarding the qualitative analysis of the participants' perception of the knowledge, most of them felt that they have moderately improved their knowledge as well as the skill. Only very few said that we had extremely become knowledgeable. Next slide. So, participants' perception of their ability to communicate effectively has significantly changed following the training program. That is, there was about 11.5 times improvement compared to the previous one. Because, for example, if when they usually get the informed consent process, they will just explain it and they will get the signature. But after this course, they told that they will ask for whether the patient has understand the consent process, and they will explain it in detail, and they have improved the communication also. And they told that even after the course, that is, the reaction to the person's reaction was very much minimal. They were able to understand the emotions of the patients. So the course helped them more in improving their behavior regarding the healthcare communication. Next slide. So most of the staff nurses told that they become very knowledgeable and skilled after attending this course. Next slide. Regarding their ability to communicate effectively, that also after training it has been improved, which has statistically significant. Next slide. And we had a follow-up post-up questionnaire whether usually what will happen when there is a course is conducted, immediately after the course they will be more knowledgeable, and after the course of time that will decline. So we conducted the follow-up after a period of 1 month, and 40% of the staff nurses were involved, and more number of paramedical workers and supporting staff were also included. It showed that they had retained the knowledge as well as the skill, and they were able to practice it even after 1 month. That shows the importance of the training, which has created the impact on the staff nurses and the doctors. Next slide, please. So majority of the participants practiced what they have learned, and 92% of the participants would like to recommend the course to the others. Next slide. Regarding the qualitative study, we conducted in-depth interviews and focused group discussions. About 8 focused group discussion and 35 in-depth interviews were done, both including doctors, staff nurses, and the paramedical workers. Next slide, please. So most of them told the doctors the main theme was that it was refreshing and interesting, and they were comfortable in scheduling because it was conducted in their work period, working environment. And the delivering was very good quality. It served the purposes. Regarding the staff nurses, they told that the training was very much comprehensive, and they are willing to re-attend the training if they need in the future, and it created a behavioral change in them, and it was very much useful in their duty. Regarding the paramedical staff, they told it was very much necessary and refreshing, and it had a long-term impact in their duration of action. Regarding the supporting staff, they told they were very much satisfied with the training that helped them to improve them and improve their quality of care to the healthcare personnel. Next slide. So thematically, doctors told it was, some of the themes was very much elaborated, and the role play that can be practiced in our regular our work, and they told that some of the sessions from the clinical side should be should have been taken by the seniors. And they also wanted some printed materials to be given to them so that they can go through it. For others, the timing was also not problem because it was conducted in the workplace itself. The content is also good, the audio visual also good. They find it too difficult sometimes to get a permission from their superior to come to the course. Next slide. And they also pointed out that this was the first training they come across during their course of duty. And some of the negative feedback was for the doctors and staff nurses, since it was a 7 module, the course was little bit longer for 6 to 7 hours. Sometimes it was difficult for them to sit for a longer period of time, and they need more amount of role play, and the theoretical content should be reduced a little bit. Next slide. So, regarding the barriers in operationalizing the training in terms of trainers' capacity, training attitudes, training processes, we conducted the quantitative data with the help of feedback form and qualitative data with the in-depth interviews and focus groups. Next slide. So, these were the modules of the checklist, the mean score obtained from the doctors. Next slide. And this is the observer checklist, who attended the 6 modules for the staff nurses. Next slide. In qualitative study, we conducted 2 focused group discussion and 17 in-depth interviews to identify the barriers. Next slide. So the thematic analysis was, initially they thought that they were hesitating whether to perform this, whether they will be able to perform as others, but after each session they become very confident. The practical session, especially the role play and the interactions, was very much good, but most of them thought that the duration should be restricted. That is because it was about 6 to 7 hours, so it will be difficult. And some of the doctors from non-clinical side felt that breaking the bad news like the topic may be avoided for those in the non-clinical side doctors. For the staff nurses, they were need the location direction because it was conducted in the lecture class. Most of them doesn't know that where was the lecture class, where was the auditorium place. So they needed priority, and they told that it was a very good experience for us and enjoyed a lot. The reception was good among the staff nurses, and they told that we will modify our presentation depending upon the feedback. That was the feedback from the trainers of the training sessions. Next slide. So during the course of the studies, since this study was conducted along the course of the project, we have reviewed the feedback regularly, and necessary corrective measures were implemented in the session timings as well as the content and improving the audiovisual aids, deliveries and evaluation methods. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So regarding the recommendation, this TANQuest serves as an excellent platform akin to the non-Moodle for enhancing the skills of the healthcare workers. The TANQuest project aims and succeeds in establishing a systemized training process from selection of the topics to the content creation and from the course delivery to the feedback integration. The project coordinates and optimizes the existing resources at our own medical colleges to create an efficient, robust model of training delivery, which can be a one-stop solution for the training areas of all our future programs. Next slide. So the TANQuest platform can also be leveraged to deliver and standardize skill development programs in medical institute. This effective healthcare communication training program can be implemented in all other institutions after addressing the identified feedback and concern. To sustain and scale the initiative, periodic refresher training, faculty development and integration into the formal medical education curriculum should be prioritized. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, please be seated. I call upon Dr. Rajshekar onto the stage, please. I call upon Dr. Edil Ramaya. No. I call upon Dr. Charles Ponruban. Yeah. For a short panel discussion, because we are awaiting our Principal Secretary Health's arrival and the consequent inauguration program. There was a sudden change in the arrangement of the program. So we are supposed to speak late in the afternoon, and now we are pushed to the first program in the morning. So we had some problems in our... We'll just open up the panel discussion with a question placed to Dr. Rajshekar. Why do you think that TANQuest is a unique program? Because there are a lot of training programs happening in the medical field all these years. Why do you think that TANQuest is unique and needs to be a part of the legacy programs of TNHSRP?
Thank you, sir. Over years, medical education has always been medical training and medical learning. There is nothing other than these two happening in medical education. And training is a part and parcel of every program that the government conducts. Any program that conducts, the major fund flow will be to the training arm of the program. And these trainings are simultaneously happening at multiple levels, at the primary level, secondary level, tertiary level. But can this be systematized? Can this be made more quality oriented? Can all the dimensions of quality like efficiency, equity, all these can be brought into these training programs? Can we make these training programs more self-sufficient? Can we make a training process which can be same for any training module? You give us any module from artificial intelligence to history of medicine, we can integrate into this TANQuest platform. The TANQuest platform had been designed with so much of painstaking effect, lot of inputs from our additional DME, Dr. Shantaraman, and many brains at that time. Also, there had been a lot of push from the World Bank team. We should thank Arushi, Rahul Pandey, who is here representing World Bank, and Mr. Ganesh. And so much of inputs have been taken from them. And it will be interesting for the audience to know that no such program of this kind, no such platform of this kind exists internationally. In fact, Tamil Nadu again had been a flag bearer in creating a platform which will bring this kind of training, a continual professional development, to that level where it will become systematized, quality oriented, self-sufficient, and will be able to be done both on the online and the on-site platforms. In fact, all our training modules, if you see, will have an online module which will be more didactic, and the hands-on experience will be on the on-site. this is in the TANQuest model. So when we piloted it at Tirunelveli, thanks to the Tirunelveli team, lot of points we have got, which we are going to sit again together to create the TANQuest 2.0, so that we can refine the TANQuest model to the level which it deserves. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. This question is to Dr. Edil Ramya. During the implementation of the piloting of TANQuest at Tirunelveli, what do you think was the best point and what was the most difficult point?
Thank you, sir. And it was a very good opportunity to pilot such a project at Tirunelveli Medical College. The best thing I would say is more among doctors, among the other staff, we are really happy to see the way they receive the program. And especially the topic communication skills. We had a lot of apprehensions how we would train our own staff and how among all their busy duties and schedules we will be able to conduct for a huge number of, especially in Tirunelveli Medical College, we have a huge workforce where we needed to conduct more than 30 or 40 training sessions, as it would only be a small group training with 30 people in each group. But the amount of effort and how they received it was really good.
Sir,
And,
sir, it's my privilege and honor to welcome our Principal Secretary, sir, for Health and Family Welfare, our Project Director, Vice Chancellor, MGR University, Director of Medical Education, all the dignitaries, please come to the dais. We will, after the inaugural session is over, so we will now raise for Tamil Thai Vaalthu.
நீராறும் கடலொடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனலும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனகே தமிழனகே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
I now invite our project director, Dr. Vineet, to give his inaugural address. Welcome address.
A very good morning to all. It's a great pleasure to welcome all the dignitaries and all of you to this program. And it's a great pleasure to have our chairman of the selection committee and principal secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu, to join this program in spite of his very busy schedule during the budget sessions. And though it was a very short duration for invitation, all of the people who have participated and all of them have come. So thank you all for this coming, and I welcome you all. This operational research program has been through the World Bank funded, we have launched, in which set of programs we have applied, and through a rigorous process, programs were selected. Of the selected programs, the researchers did an analysis using existing data and some secondary studies, and have read out wonderful studies. And this has been very enlightening for all of us, and thank you for this study. And as the day during the day, you would be, that will be shared to all. Also, one step which has been taken, which I understand is a welcome, is that all the past studies also has been disseminated during this session. So thank you all and welcome to this session and have a great day. Thank you.
So I now invite our respected Principal Secretary, sir, to launch the booklets of the final phase of the operational research. Thank you very much, sir. I would request our Principal Secretary, sir, to honor the Principal Investigator's letter of appreciation. First, for TOMA registry, the team can come and receive. Please come quickly. The next NCD, all the Principal Investigators can come. TANQuest was presenting also. So this is for the completion of the trauma registry in the DMS and DME institutions. TANQuest, Babita madam. See, first session was on TANQuest. Let me tell you that lot of discussions, what is TANQuest was a big question, and World Bank really supported us. And the nursing as well as the Dr. Shantaram did a wonderful discussions. After that came TANQuest. Now this is regarding the HRH and the digital platform being created for a skill-based training. That is what was the first session. And this study is a process evaluation. In the sense, as the TANQuest was rolled out, this was studied. Third, Lakshya. The team is ready. Come, Priya. Lakshya, you know that NQuas is happening in the PHC and the DMS institutions. Similarly, for labor room and operation theatre, we have the quality standards, and for that we have the Lakshya certification. This study was done by Dr. Satya and her team, and Priya was also part of the study. She is a nodal officer in NHM. Yes, next. NCD. Yes, please come quickly, sir. We know that the target nowadays is the control of diabetes, hypertension, and cancer program. So this SPCC strategy was devised by the Health System Reforms Project along with John Hopkins, which was given by the World Bank supported. And one of the theme was factories, that is industries-based screening. This is workplace intervention, and that study was done by SRM. Thank you, sir. Next. Yes. One of the national health programs is Anemia Mukt Bharat. For that, adolescent anemia, the study was done by St. John's, Nancy. Are you there? Any RBSK team can come, no problem. Please, any DPO, DMO, anybody is there? Okay. CM Health Insurance? Yes, sir, Access. Now, previously the project director Govindra was there. So he said, let us study why the admissions across the private is there compared to government, which is not covered by the insurance schemes. And one of the study was commissioned, and that was by Access Healthcare. That's all, Ilya? Yes. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I think I will request Rahul, being present today, to give a few words and share his experiences, because this is the final phase of the World Bank project. Over to you, Rahul.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are, I think the session already started on a very exciting note. Principal Secretary Health, Project Director, and all the dignitaries on the dais. I think this is a very, very personal kind of moment for me here representing the World Bank. The journey which started in 2018 in like trying to forge a partnership for this phase of engagement, actually the journey had already started in 2005. And the World Bank and Government of Tamil Nadu together have created several benchmarks, several innovations, which are globally recognized, not just within the country. In fact, you'll be happy to note there are several federal programs, central government, national programs, which were creation of what Government of Tamil Nadu did, including some of the early work on NCD. Like what we see as an NCD program in Government of India, I think that was long back which started. Even the CMONC Center's story is a story in itself, which we need to, I think we discuss all the time. However, in this particular phase of TNHSRP, which was first time we were looking at the results-based instrument called P4R, the idea was to create more reforms and improve systems in a way that they are sustainable, that can go a long way, and that can create more capacity within the system rather than looking for outside. I think Dr. Shantaraman made a very, very, very important point when he was talking about TANQuest. It is about creating internal capacity, making sure that we don't have to look outside every time we need to solve a particular problem. Operational research program is a way in that direction. Now, all of you who are associated with medical colleges, IITs, research institutions, who are here in the room, I know several faces over here. The research has several facets, several components, several types of research can be done. Operational research is what provides policymakers, governments, program managers a way to understand whether a particular intervention or a program is moving in the right direction, is efficient, is able to manage resources in a way that it really creates a sustainable solution. I think that's what this entire operational research program was designed with. More than, I think I've heard most time World Bank name, I think I have to give credit more to Government of Tamil Nadu, because believe me, this is one of the only state I'm aware of which actually created an operational research program within the government systems. I think generally the research in several other states, you see it's outsourced to researchers outside, to institutions outside, creating something within the institution, within the system framework, providing those resources to give to those agencies, to research PIs, etc., to really look it up and do that work is not easy. You need procurement processes to be supporting. You need government orders to be in place. You need sustained budgetary resources for something like this, even if there are externally aided projects available or not. So I think for me, this is a moment of reckoning. For me, this is an important point to say that the sustainability begins with creating system institutional, creating interventions more institutional within the government systems and the processes. This year, operational research, that's my final point, which I want to just make, and kind of all of us, I want all of us to appreciate that. We learned in the first 2 years and the 3 years. This year, operational research is supposed to be a benchmark in our particular viewpoint. The reason is very simple. We were probably exploring, learning. This year, the topics are so relevant for the government programs and reforms. The process which has been adopted is too close to the operational research frameworks and processes that the results which come out are actually going to be helpful for improving the program design and implementation. The second thing is the topics which were selected. The topics were selected with a lot of consultation, lot of back and forth between the departments, the nodal officer between different directorates and societies and all. And the team of TNHSRP, TNHSP, PMU, Dr. Shobha is here, and everyone else who has been kind of spearheading this entire work. I think kudos to the entire team, because these things, software elements, sometimes go to the back burner when the program comes to the towards the fag end of its closure. So once again, thank you so much for having me here. This is a great opportunity. I would request all of us to learn, ask questions. If there is no time to ask questions to the panel, ask questions to the tea breaks, other breaks and all, but let's take the learning back home and make some revisions, make improvement in our programs. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Rahul. And I am very proud to say that two of our programs, Health Assembly and Operational Research, is being continued by the state government. And annually, our state government is budgeting 1 crore rupees for this. So this is not a routine research which we do. This is an operational research which will bring out solutions to the program and help the policy makers. Now I invite Vice Chancellor, MGR University, to speak a few words.
Respected Health Secretary and respected Project Director of Tamil Nadu Health System Reforms and respected Director of Medical Education and respected World Bank representative. It is my privilege to be here today at this dissemination workshop for the Phase 4 Operational Research. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to the Tamil Nadu Health System Reforms Program and the World Bank by bringing together of experts and the program mentors for the crucial exercise. Research holds valuable when its findings are effectively communicated, understood, and as well as will be implemented. This dissemination workshop plays a vital role in bringing the gap between the research and the practice, ensuring that the data-driven insight translate into a real-world impact. Especially the operational research is a powerful tool that helps in evidence-based decision across the various domains, particularly in healthcare, public policy, and resource management. It enables us to analyze the complex systems, optimize the process, and develop strategies that enhance efficiency as well as effectiveness. At this juncture, I would like to share the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical Care. The operational guidelines advocate the multidisciplinary approach involving all the three levels of the healthcare, primary, secondary, as well as tertiary care. We are conducting this operational research to evaluate the feasibility, scalability, and the sustainability of implement this program in tribal areas of Tamil Nadu, especially the Thiruvannamalai district of Javadi Hills, in collaboration with the Director of Public Health, Director of Medical Education, as well as the Directorate of Tribal Welfare. The second operational research is on climate change. As an Indian, this study holds a great impact and significance for me. Almost every Indian is vulnerable to the effects of the climate change, particularly heat-related illness, as we experience hotter and hottest temperature in our geographical region. So the climate change is accelerating at a much faster pace than previously detected. So failing to act will lead to a severe and irreversible consequence. To address these challenges, our study aims to assess a public risk perception regarding the health impact of heat waves. Second is estimate the prevalence of the symptoms related to the heat-related illness among the adults. The study is conducted in two coastal regions, that is Chennai and Kadalur, and two interior districts in Vellore and Tiruchirappalli. This study is being done in collaboration with the National Institute of Epidemiology, ICMR, and India Meteorological Department and the Director of Public Health. We hope to generate valuable data to inform the policy decisions and strengthen climate resilience in Tamil Nadu. Further, I want to also inform this August audience to share some of that is our university submitted one more project related to the seasonal burden and the seasonal variation of a heat-related illness among the adults in India. It has been the proposal submitted to the Department of Environment and Climate Change through the One Health initiatives. I think if the study is funded, it will be contribute to the Tamil Nadu Climate Change Action Plan. And also we have been given opportunity to showcase our activities in the recently conducted a Tamil Nadu Climate Change Summit 3 regarding the climate change and the vector-borne disease. In conclusion, I encourage all the participants to engage actively, share knowledge, and explore how we can collectively use research to drive a meaningful change. Once again, I extend my sincere gratitude to the World Bank for this initiative and I wish everyone productive discussion again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite our project director to honor the dignitaries on the dais. Rekita. Yes. Thank you, sir. One photo, please. Photo. Yes. Next, our Vice Chancellor. Ada avarta kodutru. Vice Chancellor, sir. Our DME, sir, Dr. Sangamani. Avarta kodu. Next to World Bank official Senior Operations Officer Dr. Rahul Pandey. And to Mr. Muralidharan, who I am indebted because only through IIT Madras we are commissioning all the studies. So, Mr. Muralidharan. Thank you all. Now I invite our Principal Secretary, sir, to address his inaugural speech.
Good morning, everyone. So, I would like to thank Tamil Nadu Health System Project, Project Director and all his team for organizing this operational research program, Phase 3, in collaboration with World Bank as well as IIT Madras. So, respected Vice Chancellor, MGR Medical University, respected Project Director, Tamil Nadu Health System Project, respected DME, Mr. Rahul Pandey from World Bank, and also Professor Muralidharan, Dr. Shobha and her team, and all the operational research program institutions and their teams. So, good morning once again to you all. So, as pointed out by our Vice Chancellor as well as Project Director, so this and also Mr. Rahul Pandey, operational research is not our forte in government. So, initially when the project was taken up, then there were some reservations, but government thought that it is always good idea to take evidence-based decisions so that we can also make course correction based on the output of this operational research. So, of course, as soon as this program took off, there were COVID pandemic was there, but thanks to the persistent efforts of World Bank team as well as the project directors present as well as all previous project directors, Dr. Uma, Mr. Govind Rao, and all the project directors of TN Tamil Nadu Health System Reform Program. They have taken very keen interest, and of course with the support of IIT Madras and all of you who are present here, this has come to this stage, and we are in phase 4 of the program, and definitely I think we have learnt a lot of this thing feedback based on the operational research output. So, I think though the program with World Bank funding may come to an end, and definitely this has helped the government to come out with improvements and also improve the efficiency of the program, and also as we health sector faces many numerous challenges in ensuring that high quality health care to each and every citizen of the state. So we need to do course correction because our policies, though they are taken with some whatever is the available data, so this data itself may not be very perfect. So we need to, unless we need to do in course correction, we will not be able to ensure 100% results, though our objectives may be laudable. So I also encourage all the institutions to publish this so that it is widely disseminated and others are also learning from this. So that way it has helped us in putting the doctors and other team within the government institutions to move towards operational research. So that way this program has been very, very successful. So I would request project director to make necessary institutional arrangements so that this operational research program as well as funding for operational research program is either made through CM, Chief Minister Health Insurance Scheme funding or through state funding. And of course, our Vice Chancellor is also very active and promoting research. So he should also institutionalize mechanisms so that in the years to come, that Tamil Nadu becomes a vibrant place for doing operational research, because we are generating huge amounts of data in all our public health institutions, and that amount of data should also be made available to the researchers and others so that we get positive and as well as feedback on different programs so that we can do the course correction. So I once again thank IIT Madras, Dr. Shobha, Project Director, and all the teams who have taken part in this operational research program project. And thank you once again. So we will be very eager to take forward your feedback and do the course correction. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. In the midst of the busy schedule, we all know that assembly is happening. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all the dignitaries on the dais. We will now break out for a 10-minute session and we'll continue with the TANQuest discussion. Thank you all.
நேம்லாம் எடுத்துடலாம் மேடம். இங்கே ஒட்டியிருக்கிற நேம் ஸ்டிக்கர் பின்னாடி இருக்கு மேடம். அப்புறம் உங்களுக்கு கஷ்டம் தான்.
6 பேர் இல்லை 2 டிக்கெட் போட்டுக்கோங்க. 2 டிக்கெட் போட்டு இது வந்து ஃபுல்லாக எடுத்துட்டு இந்த சைட்லேருந்து இந்த சைட்லேருந்து மிடில் ஒரு சைடு
இங்கே ரெண்டு நடுவில்.
அது வந்து இப்படி இப்படி வரும்.
ஓகே, இப்படி பார்த்தா மாதிரி டிஸ்கஷன் பண்ணலாம். கான்வர்சேஷன்
3 போட்டுருங்க நீங்கள்.
3. ஓகே,
அந்த சைடு 3.
ஓகே ஓகே. மேடம் இது யாருது இல்லை? இப்படி அதாவது
அப்படியா? நான் இந்த கொஞ்சம் பிஸியாக இருந்தேன். சாரி.
ஃப்ரேம் மட்டும் பார்த்து. மேடம் இப்போ டெம்பரரியாக அது கொஞ்சம் நகர்த்தி வச்சுருக்கா?
நெகட்டிவ் வச்சிடலாம். கொஞ்சம் சைடில் இப்படி ஸ்லாண்டாக வச்சிருக்கேன்.
ஓகே.
Please be seated. Can you all come inside? Archana, just tell them that the session is going to begin and the TAN quest, we can go through the TAN quest. Please come and be seated in your place. Let us begin the session. Requesting the TANQuest team எக்கோ ஆறுது அதுதான் கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. Yeah. Everything went a little haywire because No, please. Sir. Huh? Illa, sir. No. They started it, sir. Illa, sir. I want Charles Charles and So I want the TANQuest team on the dais, please. Edil Ramya, Charles, Pabita, Dr. Shantaram, Dr. Rajshekhar, and their expert panel member, Anila Matan and Karikalan has come. Okay. Sir, please. No, sir. Please. Charles, come, Charles. Sir, honorum pannala, sir. They will. வர உங்களெல்லாம் ஆனர் பண்றது ப்ளீஸ் பி சீட்டட் டிஎம்இ அங்கதான் இருக்கு. Whatever you want to speak, you can speak. வருவாங்க சார். யாரை கூப்பிடுறது? Prakyata, can you just send them all in, pa? Please be seated. உன்னோடது மட்டுமாவது நீ சொல்லு ஆனர் பண்ணிட்டு என்னது இல்ல அப்ரிசியேஷன் லெட்டர் தானே சத்யா கிட்ட நேரடியா வாங்க வச்சேன் ஹெச்எஸ் கிட்ட இருந்து. I did that job. I did that. உங்ககிட்ட இருந்து திருடிட்டா? Please. Requesting you all to be seated. Let us start the session. Rajesh? Rajesh? Where is he? Okay. So for the time which was given by the World Bank to us, we didn't know what to do. And under the leadership of Dr. Rajshekhar and Dr. Shantaram and the nursing school principal, all of them with the World Bank, they had lot of discussions how to take this forward. There are various training programs which are happening in various directorates. We have to bring them all under one umbrella, and that person, and it should be made digitalized. So that when the person's name is put, we will know that this person has undergone the training. And to give the training as well as to create this, TANQuest was engineered. Okay, so the discussion was stopped because of the inaugural function. I'm apologizing to the TANQuest team. So this is, we have to see it like a journey into TANQuest. And under this, they developed a communication module. There are various modules, and this module was piloted in Tirunelveli. And this happened simultaneously as a process evaluation. That is the team. And this TANQuest, when we went into the website and released for receiving the proposals, there were only 2 proposals which we received. And one proposal got selected. And the expert team members are Dr. Anila Matan, she is from Apollo, and another person, Karikalan. Both of them were the expert group members who went through the study. And ultimately, Tirunelveli team got selected. So this is very good thing that Tirunelveli did the subject, and Tirunelveli also had the opportunity to do the process evaluation. So I'm requesting Charles Pond's speech because it got interrupted. Thank you. Yes, slide, Rajesh, you be there.
So good morning. Sorry, I'll be it's like a wind of rewind பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும். Right. So good morning, I'm Dr. Charles from Tirunelveli Medical College. So I am one of the PA, so one of the investigator in this project. So I am the co-PA. Ma'am was PA, she was presenting the project. So it was interpreted so that we want to brush up the important things alone. So TANQuest நம்ம மற்ற ப்ரோக்ராம் மாதிரி இல்லை, ஒரு டோட்டலி டிஃப்ரெண்ட். ஏன்னா நிறைய புரியாமல் போயிடக்கூடாது அப்படின்றதுக்காக இவ்வளோ எஃபர்ட் போட்டது வி வாண்ட் டு எம்பசிஸ். ஸோ ஆக்சுவலாக நான் முதல்வன் அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஸ்கீம் இருக்குது. அதே மாதிரி இட்ஸ் கொஞ்சம் டிஃப்ரெண்ட்டான ஒரு ஃப்ரேம் ஒர்க். ஸோ ஆக்சுவலாக மெடிக்கல் ஃபீல்டில் பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா ஸ்டேயிங் அப்டேட்டட் அண்ட் லேர்னிங் நியூ திங்ஸ், learning the skills, that is very, very important, and adapting to new technologies also very, very important. So continuous professional development அப்படின்றது வந்து மற்ற எந்த ஃபீல்டுக்கு எவ்வளோ தூரம் எஃபெக்டிவாக இருக்கோ மெடிக்கல் ஃபீல்டுக்கு வந்து வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். தட் இஸ் தி கீ. நம்ம வி ஆர் மூவிங் இன் டு ஏ பேஷண்ட் சென்டர்டு அப்ரோச். நம்ம வந்து இப்போ பேஷண்ட் தான் நம்முடைய ப்ரையாரிட்டி அப்படின்ற ஒரு ரேஞ்சுக்கு நம்ம போயிட்டுருக்கோம். ஸோ நம்ம டிமாண்ட்ஸும் அதிகமாக இருக்குது. ஸோ பேஷண்ட்ஸ் வந்து as the day goes on, patients are expecting more from the healthcare system. ஸோ ஹெல்த் கேர் ஒர்க்கர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து ஜஸ்ட் அவங்களுடைய கோர் ஸ்கில், ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இப்போ டாக்டர்ஸ் இருந்தாங்க அப்படின்னா அவங்களுடைய தியரட்டிக்கல் நாலேஜ், இப்போ டாக்டர்ஸ் யார் எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கனாலும் தெல் பி கேர் கிவர்ஸ், கவுன்சிலர்ஸ், இல்லைனா வந்து மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் தி டைம் வந்து மேனேஜர்ஸாக இருக்கும், அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேட்டிவ் பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ லாட் ஆஃப் ரோல்ஸ் நம்ம ரெஸ்பாண்ட் பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ இஃப் யூ லுக் அட் தி கரண்ட் ட்ரைனிங் கேரியர் பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா there are lot of programs, CMEs இருக்குது, ஒர்க் ஷாப் இருக்குது. ஸோ இதே மாதிரி நிறைய ஒர்க் ஷாப் இருக்குது. இது நீங்கள் திரும்ப பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா என்ன ப்ராப்ளம் அப்படின்னா there is a gross inequality. ஸோ மேபி அக்சஸ் டிஃபிகல்ட்டி இருக்கலாம், ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் டிஃபிகல்ட்டி இருக்கலாம். ஸோ பர்டிகுலர் கேடர் ஆர் மோர் ட்ரைன்ட் ஆர் கிவிங் மோர் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இப்போ Tier 1 சிட்டிஸ்க்கும் Tier 3 சிட்டிஸ்க்கும் there are lot of inequalities இருக்கலாம். இப்போ Grade 4 இப்போ ஒரு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் ஒர்க்கர் இருக்காங்க, ஒரு ஸ்டாஃப் நர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க, அவங்களுக்குலாம் நம்ம ட்ரைனிங் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இருக்கா இல்லையான்றது ஒரு பெரிய கேள்விக்குறி. ஸோ இந்த இதை லெவல் ஃபீல்டிங் ப்ளே பண்ணணும் அப்படின்றதுக்காக தான் இந்த TANQuest இனிஷியேட்டிவ் வாஸ் பார்ன். ஸோ இதனுடைய மெயின் எய்ம் என்ன அப்படின்னா டு என்ஹான்ஸ் தி ஸ்கில் ஆஃப் தி ஹெல்த் கேர் ஒர்க்கர்ஸ். ஸோ டாக்டராக இருக்கட்டும், Grade 1 யாராக இருக்கட்டும், ஸ்டாஃப் நர்ஸாக இருக்கலாம், பேராமெடிக்கல் ஒரு லேப் டெக்னீஷியனாக இருக்கலாம், ஃபார்மசிஸ்ட்டாக இருக்கலாம். ஸோ எல்லாருடைய ஸ்கில்ஸையும் நம்ம எப்படி இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்றது தான் இதனுடைய மெயின் அஜெண்டா. ஸோ இதுக்கு வந்து தே ஹவ் டிட் அ ஆர்கனைசேஷனல் ஃப்ரேம் ஒர்க், ஒரு பெரிய ஆர்கனைசேஷனல் ஃப்ரேம் ஒர்க் பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ அதை தான் நம்ம ஆக்சுவலி ஏர்லியராக சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க. ஸோ இட் வாஸ் அ மேண்டேட். ஸோ கவர்மெண்ட் இஸ் இவன் அ மேண்டேட். ஸோ இதுக்கு தனியாக ஒரு போர்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் வச்சாங்க. ஸோ எந்தெந்த டாபிக்ஸில் நம்ம ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்றதுக்கு நிறைய ஸ்டேக் ஹோல்டர் மீட்டிங்லாம் பிளான் பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ இட் வாஸ் பைலட்டட் இன் திருநெல்வேலி மெடிக்கல் காலேஜ். ஸோ கிட்டத்தட்ட 45 மாடியூல் பிளான் பண்ணி அதில் ஒன் ஆஃப் தி மாடியூல் வாஸ் சூசன், தட் வாஸ் எஃபெக்டிவ் ஹெல்த் கேர் கம்யூனிகேஷன் பேஸ்ட் அப்பான் தி ஃபீட்பேக். ஸோ எல்லாருடைய விருப்பத்துக்கு ஏற்ற அது ட்ரை பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ அந்த மாடியூல் வாஸ் பைலட்டட் இன் திருநெல்வேலி மெடிக்கல் காலேஜ் ஃப்ரம் அக்டோபர் 2023 டு மார்ச் 2024 வரை, கிட்டத்தட்ட 6 months தான் நடந்துச்சு. இந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் வந்து இதனுடைய எய்ம், இப்போ நாங்கள் பண்ணுற ஓஆரோட எய்ம் டு அசஸ் தி எஃபெக்டிவ்னஸ் ஆஃப் தி பர்டிகுலர் ப்ரோக்ராம். ஸோ அந்த கம்யூனிகேஷன் அப்படின்னு ஒரு மாடியூல் ரன் பண்ணுறாங்க. எங்களுடைய ரோல் என்னென்னா அந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் எப்படி ரன் ஆகுது அப்படின்றத பார்க்க தான் எங்களுடைய ரோலாக இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ அந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் ரன் பண்ணும்போது வி ஹேட் தி ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி 6 months நாங்கள் அது கூட ட்ராவல் பண்ணோம். வி ஹேவ் செப்பரேட் ஃபீல்டு ஒர்க்கர்ஸ். ஸோ எங்களுடைய ரோல் என்ன, அப்சர்வ் பண்ணுறது ப்ளஸ் அந்த பார்ட்டிசிபெண்ட்ஸோட பெர்செப்ஷன் என்ன, அவங்களுடைய டிஃபிகல்ட்டிஸ் என்ன, அது போக வந்து இந்த ட்ரெயினர்ஸ் அவங்களுடைய பெர்செப்ஷன் என்ன, டிஃபிகல்ட்டிஸ் என்ன. ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் வி ஹேட் அ ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி டு இன்டர்வீன் அண்ட் ஆஃப்டர் 1 month. ஸோ 1 monthக்கு அப்புறம் ஸோ யாரெல்லாம் பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணாங்களோ வி ஹேட் அ சாம்பிள், ஒரு கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 500 பேரை திரும்ப நாங்கள் கான்சன்ட்ரேட் பண்ணோம். ஸோ அவங்ககிட்ட இந்த ட்ரைனிங் எவ்வளோ தூரம் எஃபெக்டிவாக இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்றத எங்களுக்கு டாக்குமெண்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு வி ஹேட் அ ஒண்டர்ஃபுல் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட் ப்ளீஸ். ஸோ நாங்கள் ப்ராடாக வந்து 3 கேட்டகரிஸ் வச்சோம். இது ஆல்ரெடி எல்லாரும் சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைடு ப்ளீஸ். ஐயா. ஸோ ஆக்சுவலாக 7 modules ஃபார் டாக்டர்ஸ் அண்ட் ஸ்டாஃப் நர்ஸ், மார்னிங்லேருந்து ஈவினிங் வரை இருக்கும். ஸோ பேராமெடிக்கல் ஒர்க்கர்ஸ், இந்த சப்போர்ட்டிவ் ஸ்டாஃப், இப்போ லேப் டெக்னீஷியன் அந்த மாதிரி கேடர்களுக்கு எல்லாமே வந்து ஆஃப் டே தான் வச்சோம். ஏன்னா அவங்களுக்கு ரிலவெண்ட்டான செஷன்ஸ் வந்து மட்டும்தான் வைக்க முடிஞ்சது. சரியா? ஸோ கிட்டத்தட்ட வந்து 1000. ஸோ செகண்ட் காமராக நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா we want to describe the perception of the trainees. ஸோ செகண்ட் காமராக நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா we want to describe the perception of the trainees. ஸோ பார்ட்டிசிபெண்ட்ஸோட பெர்செப்ஷன். ஸோ அவங்க வந்து என்ன கற்றுக்கிட்டாங்க, அவங்களுடைய ரியாக்ஷன் எப்படி இருந்துச்சு, ஸோ அவங்களுடைய ஃபீட்பேக் என்ன, அதை தான் நம்ம கான்சன்ட்ரேட் பண்ணோம். வி ஃபாலோட் அ கில்பட்ரிக்ஸ் அப்படின்ற ஒரு ட்ரைனிங் மாடியூலை வச்சு வி அசஸ்ட் 4 areas. ஒன் இஸ் ரியாக்ஷன். ஸோ டூரிங் த டைம் ஆஃப் ட்ரைனிங்கில் ஹவு பீப்புள் ஆர் ரியாக்டிங், எவ்வளோ தூரம் என்கேஜாக இருக்காங்க, ஸோ எப்படி பெர்சீவ் பண்ணுறாங்க அதை அப்சர்வ் பண்ணணும். செகண்ட் திங் இஸ் லேர்னிங். ஸோ எவ்வளோ தூரம் கற்றுக் கொடுத்தது வந்து உங்களுக்கு ரீச் ஆகிருக்கு. ஸோ அதை நம்ம எப்படி அசஸ் பண்ணோன்னா பிஃபோர் அண்ட் ஆஃப்டர் ட்ரைனிங் ஸ்கோர்ஸ் வச்சு ப்ரீ டெஸ்ட் வச்சு பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ தேர்ட் வந்து என்ன பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னா பிஹேவியர். ஸோ இந்த கற்றுக்கிட்டது அவங்களுடைய பிஹேவியர் எதுவும் சேஞ்ச் ஆகிருக்கா, ஆட்டிடியூட் சேஞ்ச் இருக்கா, ஆஃப்டர் 1 month எதுவும் சேஞ்ச் இருக்கா. ஸோ ஃபோர்த் திங் இஸ் ரிசல்ட் நாங்கள் பண்ணலை. ஸோ இது வந்து டிஎன்ஹெச்எஸ்பின்னு டாக்ஸ் வித் செப்பரேட் ப்ரப்போசலாக ஃப்ளோட் பண்ணுவாங்க, பேஷண்ட் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் சர்வே. ஸோ இந்த ட்ரைனிங் கொடுக்கறது மூலமாக ஹெல்த் கேர் ஒர்க்கர்ஸோட பிஹேவியர் மாறுறது மூலமாக அவுட்கம் மாறுதா, ஸோ கம்ப்ளைண்ட்ஸ் குறைஞ்சிருக்கா, இல்லை வந்து இந்த மாதிரி அவங்களுடைய பிஹேவியர் மாறி இருக்கா லாங் டேர்மாக அப்படின்றது பார்க்குறது அதனுடைய அப்ஜெக்டிவ். அது நாங்கள் வந்து பண்ண முடியலை, ஏன்னா ஷார்ட் டேர்ம் வி ஆர் கன்சர்ன் வித் ஷார்ட் டேர்ம். லாங் டேர்மாக இட் ஷுட் பி டன். சரியா? ஸோ இப்போ இதில் மெயினாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வந்து நம்ம வந்து சிஸ்டம்ஸ் அப்ரோச் அப்படின்னு ஒரு அப்ரோச் எடுத்திருக்கோம். ஸோ இன்புட் ப்ராசஸ் அவுட்புட் அந்த டைரெக்ஷன்லேயே தான் மூவ் ஆகிருப்போம். ஸோ ப்ராசஸ் இண்டிகேட்டர் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எவ்வளோ ட்ரைனிங் வந்துச்சு, எவ்வளோ பேர் அட்டன் பண்ணாங்க, எல்லாருமே வந்தாங்களா, எவ்வளோ தூரம் கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ இதெல்லாம் வந்து இன்டெரக்டாக நமக்கு என்ன காட்டுது, அந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் எப்படி நடத்துனாங்க அப்படின்றது காட்டுது. ஹவு பீப்புள் ஆர் ஆக்டிவ்லி பார்ட்டிசிபேட்டிங். கிட்டத்தட்ட டு அவர் சர்ப்ரைஸ் 100% பார்ட்டிசிபேஷன். யாரெல்லாம் என்ரோல் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்களோ எல்லாருமே அட்டன் பண்ணாங்க. யாரெல்லாம் மார்னிங் வந்தாங்களோ இன்வேரியபிளி தே ஹேவ் டு அட்டன் தி ஈவினிங் செஷன். ஏன்னா இட் வாஸ் அ மேண்டேட். ஈவினிங் வந்து வி ஹேட் அ ஆஸ்பி செஷன். இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமில் இன்பில்ட்டாக ஒரு எவாலுவேஷன் இருக்குது. அது முடித்தா தான் சர்டிஃபிகேட்டில் கொடுப்பாங்க. எஸ்ஆர்லாம் என்ட்ரி போடுவாங்க. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டைட் ஷெட்யூல் இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ இனிஷியலி பீப்புள் ஹெசிடேட்டட், அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து பீப்புள் என்ஜாய்டு. ஸோ ஒரு நாள் அதுக்குள்ளே முடிஞ்சு போச்சா அப்படின்ற அளவுக்கு தான் எல்லோரும் ஃபீல் பண்ணாங்க. குட் பார்ட்டிசிபேஷன். நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். ஸோ செஷன்ஸ் வந்து கிட்டத்தட்ட 39 செஷன் கண்டக்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஸ்டாஃப் நர்ஸுக்கு நிறைய, ஒரு நாளுக்கு வி ஹேவ் தி கெப்பாசிட்டி ஒரு 30 அந்த மாதிரி தான் ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. ஸோ பேராமெடிக்கலும் ஸ்டாஃப் சப்போர்ட் ஸ்டாஃப்க்கும் கொஞ்சம் நம்ம கம்மியாக தான் அட்டென்ட் பண்ணியிருந்தோம். பட் ஓவராலாக நமக்கு டார்கெட் வந்து 1250. நம்ம அதை விட தாண்டியே ரீச் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். நியர்லி 1272 people have been trained in the particular program. சரியா? நெக்ஸ்ட் போயிடலாம். அடுத்து ஓகே. ஸோ ரியாக்ஷன். ஸோ செகண்ட் காம்போனண்ட்டில் நம்ம என்ன பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா ரியாக்ஷன். இப்போ நீங்கள் என்ன பேசிகிட்டு இருக்கும்போது நீங்கள் எல்லாம் எப்படி ரியாக்ட் பண்ணுறீங்க அப்படின்னு பார்க்குற மாதிரி. ஸோ ட்ரைனிங்கில் வந்து எப்படி மக்கள்லாம் உட்காந்துருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு பார்க்குறதுக்காக எங்கள்கிட்ட செப்பரேட் அப்சர்வர் வச்சுருந்தோம். ஸோ எவ்வளோ பேர் செல்ஃபோன் யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க, எவ்வளோ செல்ஃபோன் அட்டன் பண்ணுறாங்க, ஃபோனை நோண்டிக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறது யாரெல்லாம், ஸோ இதெல்லாம் நோட் பண்ணோம். ஸோ அது போக வந்து ஹவு இன்ட்ராக்டிவ் ஆஃப் தி செஷன். ஸோ இந்த செஷன் அப்போ வந்து எவ்வளோ கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்குறாங்க, எவ்வளோ ரோல் பிளே இருக்குது, கேம்ஸ் எவ்வளோ இருக்குது, பார்ட்டிசிபெண்ட்ஸ் எவ்வளோ கொஸ்டின் கேட்குறாங்க. ஸோ இதெல்லாம் வந்து தனியாக மார்க் பண்ணியிருந்தோம். ஸோ அதில் பார்க்கும்போது வந்து வி ஹேட் அ குட் பார்ட்டிசிபேஷன், எஸ்பெஷலி மோர் அமாங் ஸ்டாஃப் நர்சஸ். ஸோ ஸ்டாஃப் நர்சஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப ஆக்டிவாக இருந்தாங்க. அதுக்கு நிறைய ரீசன்ஸ் இருக்குது. பட் ரொம்ப என்ஜாய் பண்ணாங்க. ரோல் பிளே அதெல்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப யூனிக்காக இருந்துச்சு. ஈவன் டாக்டர்ஸ்க்கும் நல்லா இருந்துச்சு. ஃப்ரம் டாப் டு பாட்டம், நீ எம்எஸ்ஸாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, வைஸ் பிரின்ஸிபலாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, ஒரு ஹெச்ஓடியாக இருந்தாலும், நேற்று ஜாயின் பண்ண அசிஸ்டண்ட்டாக இருந்தாலும், இன்வேரியபிளி எல்லாரும் ஈவினிங் வரை இருக்க வேண்டியதாக இருந்துச்சு. இட் வாஸ் அ ஒண்டர்ஃபுல் செஷன், லேர்னிங் பாயிண்ட் ஆல்சோ. எங்களுக்கும் ஒரு லேர்னிங் தான். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன், நெக்ஸ்ட் சரி, இது வந்து மொபைல் ஃபோன் யூசேஜ், அதாவது ஹவு என்கேஜ்டு பீப்புள் ஆர், நம்மளே பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்களா இல்லை வந்து அவங்களே அவங்களுக்குள்ள தனி உலகத்துக்குள்ள இருக்காங்களா அப்படின்னு பார்க்குறதுக்காக பண்ணியிருந்தோம். ஸோ இனிஷியலாக வி ஹேட் அ டஃப் டைம், பட் இட் வாஸ் குட். ஸோ தேர்ட் பார்ட் இஸ் லேர்னிங். ஸோ லேர்னிங்கை பொறுத்தவரையில் வந்து ப்ரீ டெஸ்ட் போஸ்ட் டெஸ்ட் கொஸ்டினர் வச்சுருந்தாங்க. அந்த கொஸ்டினரில் ஹவு தே ஹவ் இம்ப்ரூவ்ட் தேர் ஸ்கோர்ஸ் அப்படின்ற அசஸ் பண்ணாங்க. தெர் இஸ் அ சிக்னிஃபிகன்ட் இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட். எல்லா குரூப்லேயும் தெர் இஸ் அ சிக்னிஃபிகன்ட் இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட். ஸோ நாலேஜ் இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட் இருக்குது, அதை தான் நம்ம டாக்குமெண்ட் பண்ணோம். ஸோ செகண்ட் திங் இஸ் நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். ஸோ அவங்களுடைய பிஹேவியர் சேஞ்ச் ஆகிருக்கா, அவங்களுடைய ஆட்டிடியூட் சேஞ்ச் ஆகிருக்கா அப்படின்றத நம்ம பார்க்குறதுக்காக நெக்ஸ்ட். ஸோ கிட்டத்தட்ட இது வந்து டாக்டர் ஸ்டாஃப் நர்ஸ்க்கு விகேட ஒரு சிடிசியோட ஒரு 20 கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஒரு பேக் இருந்துச்சு, அதை வச்சு நம்ம கேட்டிருந்தோம். ஸோ கிட்டத்தட்ட வந்து 98% ஆஃப் த டாக்டர்ஸ் வந்து இந்த ட்ரைனிங்கில் கற்றுக்கிட்டதை வில் யூஸ் அப்படின்றத ஒரு ஆட்டிடியூடாக ஒரு நாங்கள் ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ண முடிஞ்சுது. நெக்ஸ்ட் திங், ஸோ மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் தி பீப்புள் ஃபெல்ட் தட் தி கோர்ஸ் வாஸ் பேலன்ஸ்ட், வெல் பேலன்ஸ்ட். தட் மீன்ஸ் இன்ட்ராக்டிவும் கரெக்டாக இருந்துச்சு, தியரியும் கரெக்டாக இருந்துச்சு, ப்ராக்டிக்கலும் எல்லா காம்பனன்ட்ஸும் கரெக்டாக இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னு ஃபீல் பண்ணாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். ஸோ மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் தி பார்ட்டிசிபெண்ட்ஸ் ஃபெல்ட் தட் இட் வாஸ் அப் டு தேர் எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன். ஸோ இமேஜின் பண்ணுறதை விட இது நல்லா இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னு தான் ஃபீல் பண்ணாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். ஸோ உங்கள் கோர்ஸுக்கு ரிலவெண்ட்டாக இருந்துச்சு, ஒர்க் பண்ணதுக்கு ரிலவெண்ட்டாக இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. ஸோ நீங்கள் அட்டன் பண்ணுறதுக்கு பின்னாடி உங்களுடைய ஸ்கில் வந்து எப்படி இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆகிருக்கு, இது வந்து செல்ஃப் டிக்ளரேஷன். பட் எனிவே ஹவு many ஆஃப் யூ ஃபீல் தட் யுவர் ஸ்கில்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஆர் நாலேஜ் ஹஸ் இம்ப்ரூவ்ட், முன்னாடியும் பின்னாடி அப்படின்னு கேட்டிருந்தோம். நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். தெர் வாஸ் அ சிக்னிஃபிகன்ட் டிஃபரன்ஸ். நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். ஸோ டாக்டர்ஸை கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது கிட்டத்தட்ட 12 டைம்ஸ் இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட். ஸோ நீங்கள் முன்னாடியை விட இந்த ட்ரைனிங் அட்டன் பண்ணதுக்கப்புறம் ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி சுச்சுவேஷனை ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுறதுக்கு வி ஆர் மோர் அக்யூட் அப்படின்னு பீப்புள் ஆர் ஃபீலிங். நெக்ஸ்ட், ஸோ ஸ்டாஃப் நர்ஸில் வந்து தே ஆர் ஹேவிங் அ மோர் சப்ஜெக்டிவ் டிக்ளரேஷன். ஸோ ஸ்டாஃப் நர்ஸில் கிட்டத்தட்ட பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 83 டைம்ஸ். ஸோ ரிமார்க்கபிள் இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட் இது டாக்குமெண்ட் பண்ணோம். நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். ஸோ 1 மந்த்துக்கு அப்புறம் வந்து வி ஹேட் தி ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி டு ஃபாலோ அப் தி பேஷண்ட்ஸ், ஃபாலோ அப் தி பார்ட்டிசிபெண்ட்ஸ். கிட்டத்தட்ட வந்து 50% ஆஃப் தி பார்ட்டிசிபெண்ட்ஸை நாங்கள் ஃபாலோ பண்ணோம். ஸோ அவங்ககிட்ட வந்து என்ன கேட்டிருந்தோம் அப்படின்னா, நீங்கள் கற்றுக்கிட்ட ஸ்கில்லை எவ்வளோ பேர் யூஸ் பண்ணீங்க, 1 மந்த் கழிச்சு யூஸ் பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னு கேட்டிருந்தோம். கிட்டத்தட்ட 97% ஆஃப் தி பார்ட்டிசிபெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து ரெஸ்பாண்ட் பண்ணாங்க. வி ஹேவ் யூஸ், நாங்கள் அந்த கற்றுக்கிட்டது எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருந்துச்சு, யூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு போட்டிருந்தாங்க. ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட் காம்பனன்ட் வந்து குவாலிட்டேட்டிவ். ஸோ இது மெயினாக எதுக்காக அப்படின்னா பெர்செப்ஷன், நீங்கள் எப்படி ஃபீல் பண்ணுறீங்க, வாட் ஆர் தி பேரியர்ஸ். ஸோ பாசிட்டிவ் ஃபீட்பேக் பார்க்கும்போது ஸோ டாக்டர்ஸை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் வந்து வெல் ரிசீவ்ட். ஸோ நிறைய ரிசீவ் பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ பர்பஸ் வந்து சால்வ்டு, அவங்க என்ன எய்மோடு வந்தாங்களோ அந்த அஜெண்டா வந்து இட்ஸ் வெரி நைஸ்லி போர்ட்ரேட். இந்த செஷன்ஸ், இன்ட்ராக்டிவ் செஷன்ஸ் எல்லாமே நல்லா இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்றத டாக்குமெண்ட் பண்ணாங்க. சம் ஆஃப் தி நரேட்டிவ் சம்மரி நாங்கள் கொடுத்துருக்கோம். நிறைய பீப்புள் வந்து ரோல் பிளே என்ஜாய் பண்ணாங்க, எஸ்பெஷலி ஸ்டாஃப்னஸ் எல்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப என்ஜாய் பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ அதே மாதிரி டைமிங்கும் நல்லா இருந்துச்சு. நாங்கள் 1 டே வைக்கிறது எவ்வளோ கஷ்டமாக இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு நினச்சோம். பட் இஸ் பீப்புள் ஹவ் என்ஜாய்ட், அதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்துச்சு. நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். ஸோ சம் நெகட்டிவ் கமெண்ட்ஸ் வந்துச்சு. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இப்போ ஜூனியர்ஸ் எப்படி வந்து ஒரு சீனியர்ஸ் அட்ரஸ் பண்ணுறது, அது ஒரு காமன் இஷ்யூஸ் வந்துச்சு. நான் கிளினிக்கல் அந்த இஷ்யூஸ் வந்துச்சு. ஸோ சம் பீப்புள் வந்து இதெல்லாம் வந்து குட்டி இஷ்யூஸ், இதெல்லாம் எப்படியும் ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராம் நடத்தும் போது வரும். எங்களுக்கு வி ஹேவ் தி மேஜர் அட்வான்டேஜ், வி ஹேவ் அ மிட் கோர்ஸ் கரெக்ஷன். ஸோ நீங்கள் கோர்ஸ் அப்போவே வந்து ஏதாவது ஃபீட்பேக் அப்படின்னா வில் பி கம்யூனிகேட்டிங் டு தி டான்குஸ்ட் டீம். ஸோ அது வந்து ஆன் கம்யூனிகேஷன் வந்து ஸ்டார்டிங் பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் த கேரியரில் இருக்கணும். ஒரு நர்ஸஸோ இல்லை ஒரு டாக்டரோ இல்லை பேராமெடிக்கலோ உங்களுடைய கோர்ஸஸோட ஸ்டார்டிங்கில் இது கம்பல்சரியாக இருக்கணுன்றத மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் த ஃபீட்பேக். நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். ஸோ தேர்ட் அப்ஜெக்டிவ் வந்து ட்ரைனர்ஸ்ட்டை கேட்டோம். இதை நம்ம ட்ரைனர்ஸ்ட்டை கேட்டோம் என்னென்ன டிஃபிகல்ட்டிஸ்ன்ட்டு. நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். யா. ஸோ அது போக வந்து அப்சர்வர் செக்லிஸ்ட்டும் வச்சுருந்தோம். அதாவது நீங்கள் ட்ரைனிங் நடக்கும்போது இதே மாதிரி தனியாக ஒரு குரூப் ஆஃப் பீப்புள் வில் பி அப்சர்விங், என்ன நடக்குதுன்றதை டாக்குமெண்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ ஒவ்வொரு செஷனையும் ஒவ்வொரு கண்டென்ட்டையும் கிரிட்டிசைஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. திஸ் இஸ் ஓவரால் ஃபிட். ஓவரால் வந்து வி ஹேட் அ குட் கமெண்ட். யா. நெக்ஸ்ட் ப்ளீஸ். யா. நெக்ஸ்ட். அவ்வளோதான். நெக்ஸ்ட். ரைட். ஸோ what you want to conclude is TANCOS is a wonderful organizational framework. ஸோ நீங்கள் வெறும் ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராம் அப்படின்னு பார்க்காம இட் வாஸ் அ வண்டர்ஃபுல் ஆர்கனைசேஷனல் ஃப்ரேம் ஒர்க்கை டெவலப் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ என் நம்பர் ஆஃப் ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ் கேன் பி இன்ஸ்டில்ட் இன் தி எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நீங்கள் ஒரு மெடிக்கல் சர்டிஃபிகேஷன் ஆஃப் காஸ்ட் ஆஃப் டெத் கொடுக்கணுமா, இல்லை ஒரு கம்ப்யூட்டர் ஸ்கில் கொடுக்கணுமா, இல்லை ஒரு ஹெச்எம்ஐஎஸ் நடத்தணுமா. ஸோ என்ன வேணாலும் ப்ரோக்ராமை இந்த ஃப்ரேம் ஒர்க் மூலமாக பண்ண முடியும் வித்தவுட் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ரிசோர்ஸஸ். எல்லா காலேஜஸ்லேயும் ஒரு மெடிக்கல் எஜுகேஷன் யூனிட்னு இருக்குது. ஸோ அதை அப்கிரேட் பண்ணுறது மூலமாக யூ கேன் மேனேஜ் அப்படின்றது தான் இதனுடைய கான்செப்ட். நீங்கள் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ட்ராவல் பண்ணணும்னு தேவையில்லை. நீங்கள் எந்த இடத்துல இருக்கீங்களோ அந்த இடத்துல இருக்க மேன் பவரை வச்சு உங்களுக்கு ட்ரைனிங் கொடுக்கறதுக்கு ஒரு ஒண்டர்ஃபுல்லான ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி. லைக் நான் முதல்வன் வந்து ஒரு குட்டி காம்போனன்ட். சரியா, இது வந்து ஒரு ஃப்ரேம் ஒர்க். அதுக்குள்ளே இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் நடத்தினாங்க. ப்ரோக்ராம் ஆஸ் ஐ அவுட்லைன் இட் வாஸ் அ excellent one. It significantly impacted the behavior and learning of the participants. That's what we have find out. So thank you. So recommendation what we want to conclude is this program can be expanded and the TANCOS platform can be leveraged for the additional programs. That's what we want to conclude. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the TNHSRB team and IIT team, IIT Madras team. They encouraged us and supported us throughout this journey. So and also TANCOS team, Dr. Elil Ramya, அவங்களுடைய டீமும் நல்லா ஹெல்ப் பண்ணாங்க. And also our mentors, Dr. Shantaraman, Dr. Raghjeshekar sir. They will be, ஏன்னா எங்களுக்கு இன்சைடர், ஐ எம் நாட் இன்சைடர். TANCOS என்னன்னு எனக்கு தெரியாது. ஸோ டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணும்போது அவங்களுடைய ஓவரால் இந்த ப்ராசஸை டாக்குமெண்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு we had the wonderful opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Charles. Though it was a repetition, அவங்களோட லாங்குவேஜில் அதை நல்லா பேசினார், கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணார். திஸ் வாஸ் மிஸ்ஸிங் இன் த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிளேஸ். உங்களுக்கு இதில் ஏதாவது டவுட்ஸ் இருக்குன்னா ஐ லாஸ்ட் தெம் டு கிவ் அவுட் த ஹேண்ட் அவுட் மைட்ஸ். எனி இன்ட்ராக்ஷன் யூ வாண்ட்? யாருக்காவது ஏதாவது கேட்கணுமா? த டீம் இஸ் தேர். எனி questions? Can just simply raise your hand. I'll ask them to pass on the mic. If no questions, then we will honor them. I now invite Rahul Pandey. Please come. You can honor Anila Mathan. She has always been supportive. Though in the private sector, she has been one of the expert panel member who has received the proposal and she has selected it. So, thank you very much, Dr. Anila. And Shantaram sir, our additional director, man has lot of innovative things under his sleeve. Thank you very much, sir. Without you, this thing would not have happened. Yes. I request Dr. Shantaram to honor his panel team members. Please, sir. Hand mic.
So we'll actually wind up the panel discussion with a few more minutes because we are halfway through when the inauguration was played on. And I think I'll repeat the question to Dr. Elil Ramya. What were the positives and what were the problems that you faced while you implemented இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமை வந்து திருநெல்வேலியில் இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணும்போது உங்களுக்கு எது பாசிட்டிவாக பட்டது, எது வந்து உங்களுக்கு ப்ராப்ளமாக இருந்தது?
So, during the process of implementation, positive and pata, actually, initially we were very apprehensive of how to do it, especially when everything had to be done in-house, including identifying trainers and training. It was a bit of a complicated process, but the enthusiasm shown by all the members, especially even paramedical nurses, எல்லாருமே வந்து they received the program well, and even though வந்து it was a tedious process, எல்லாரையும் கூப்பிட்டு, and at most of the seniors were more enthusiastic than the juniors. அவங்களை train பண்ணி, and they had been long experience, but நாங்க ஒரு module கொடுத்து, when it was we were training them, we had to change their perception, but they received it very well, and at the implementation they were very sincere. Enna comments nalo they took it positively. So it was a very surprising thing, especially in government service. People don't tend to generally take something extra and move it forward. So that was a very positive response. Negative na, as usual, you always have the hurdles. Administration la aramchi, who will look after their work. When you have a training, you can't pull the people, avanga velai anga yaar seiva. So the madri lot of things, and some people, as usual, idu inda vaisla engalukku. So a lot of seniors felt this was something for those who came new. We are all well versed. We are talking with the patients for 20 years. What are you going to tell? But even them, when they went out, they came to understand there were a lot of things which still we do not know. So it was a mix of weather, but overall it was very well received and it was a great experience.
Thank you, Dr. Edil. Yeah, during the evaluation of the program, what was your opinion? How has this study progressed?
The study progressed very well. Initially, when we started doing the evaluation, we were wondering how it is going to work out. But the steps and the concept that was brought out was very good. And it was done in a very systematic manner. So congratulations to all of you. You've done a great job in bringing it out. May I ask one question?
Yeah,
so now that the project is over, how are you planning to help others to translate it into the other medical colleges?
I will the government. அடுத்தது இது மட்டும் இல்லை, இப்போ கம்யூனிகேஷன் இல்லாமல் நம்ம டாக்டர்ஸ், நர்சஸ், பேராமெடிக்கல் ஸ்டாஃப்ஸு, ஃபீல்ட் ஸ்டாஃப், ஐ எம் மோர் வரிட் நவ் ஆர் மோர் லுக்கிங் அட் அவர் VHNs, our what you call as people who are engaged in the Makkalai Thedi Maruthuvam scheme, all of them, they have lot of specific issues which need capacity building, not only communication.
Starting from the medical colleges. So medical colleges, we know we have lot of resource, human resource. So medical colleges, we know we have lot of resource, human resource, insufficiency, and patient load is very high. How we were able to involve these many number of doctors and staff nurses into this program, that is very important actually, at the medical college level. And I could see in the training things, more than, when compared to doctors, the participation of the frontline health workers were bit, minimal. So why the demand was, bit low among them, that is one thing I would like to know. And third one is how to sustain this. Behavior change is a very continuous process. So what will be
Government to make this as a state level program under the health department, and the government has assured us that they would be giving us administrative support in the coming months or coming days. We are expecting the minister and our honorable health minister and our honorable secretary to give us administrative support, and we are very confident about it. That is point number one. Point number two is, when we started training, the corpus of doctors, they knew that such trainings were important, number one. The administration was able to provide the doctors on time for the training. But when it came to the baseline workers, I think the organizer had
problems in mobilizing them. So this is one truth that we have understood through the operations research. So maybe when TANSQuest 2.0 is implemented, அவங்களுக்கு நம்ம அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேட்டிவ் லெவலில் அவங்களும் இந்த ட்ரைனிங்க்கு வரணும்னா நாங்கள் என்ன செய்யணுங்கிறத இந்த ஓஆர் ப்ரோக்ராம் மூலமாக we have understood. ஸோ சம் அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேட்டிவாக நம்ம இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் எல்லா ஃபீல்டு ஒர்க்கர்ஸும் எங்களுக்கு வரணும்னா நாங்கள் டிடிஸை எப்படி கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணோம், ஜேடிஸை எப்படி கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணோங்கிறதெல்லாம் இப்போ நமக்கு நியூ லேர்னிங். ஒன் ரீசன் தட் தீஸ் ஒர்க்கர்ஸ் ஹவ் நாட் டர்ன்ட் அப் இஸ், ஒரு 30 ஒர்க்கர்ஸை ஒரு இடத்துலேருந்து ரிமூவ் பண்ணினா அந்த வார்டை க்ளீன் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஒரு ஆப்ரேஷன் தியேட்டரோ ஒரு கேஷுவாலிட்டியோ அஃபெக்ட் ஆகிறதுன்ற சூழ்நிலை வரும்போது அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் ஃபஸ்ட்டு தாட் எடுக்கிறதுனா இந்த ட்ரைனிங்லாம் அப்புறம் பார்த்துக்கலாம், முதல்ல ஆஸ்பத்திரி வேலையை பாருங்கள் அப்படின்னு. ஸோ த ப்ரையாரிட்டி ஆஃப் த அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் இஸ் டு ரன் த சர்வீசஸ், while the priority of the training organization is to capacity build them for the future. ஸோ ஒரு டைவர்சிட்டி இருக்குது. இதை நம்ம க்ளோஸ் பண்ணுறது இந்த ஸ்ட்ரக்சரோட இதுக்குள்ளே கொண்டு வரணும். we are to now build some kind of a mechanism so that this gap will be closed.
So the suggestion from our experience is, rather than calling all staff members, you could select 1 or 2 as master trainers to come to the training. And also there should be a inbuilt incentivizing mechanism, not in terms of monetary term. You could give them awards or certificates or badges so that their involvement becomes very high in these kind of activities.
In the incentivization issue has been part of TANQuest. இதை ஏற்கனவே நம்ம வந்து கவர்மெண்ட்டையும் ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். 2 விஷயம் இருக்குது சார். ஃபைனான்ஷியல் இன்சென்டிவைசேஷன் ஒன்று இருக்குது, which may not be sustainable in the long term. But secondary incentivization is in terms of making it entries into this service book and considering them in terms of performance appraisal and promotions. இதெல்லாம் கவர்மெண்ட்டோட பர்வியூக்கு கொண்டு போயிருக்கோம். Decisions are awaited, sir. So
Wonderful, sir. Just I remembered only one statistics. There is a recent research paper from John Hopkins which said that spending 40 seconds of compassionate speech with a cancer patient significantly improves the quality of life of the patient. Just 40 seconds. In that way, it is a very productive step what you have taken. Thank you for the entire team.
Madam, 1 minute. Even PD sir was asking the same question as you asked, sir. Paramedicalக்கு ஏன் கம்மியான செஷன்ஸ் வச்சிங்க, கம்மியான மாடியூல்ஸ் வச்சிங்க, ஏன் கம்மியான பீப்புள் இன்வால்வ் ஆனாங்கன்னு. அது தி டாபிக் டிக்டேட்டட் தட் எஃபெக்டிவ் ஹெல்த் கேர் கம்யூனிகேஷன் நாங்கள் முதல்ல பிளான் பண்ணி வந்தப்போ paramedical workers who are associated with the labor wards, the NICU, emergency department, intensive medical care, இவங்க தான் will be more associated with communicating with patients அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு கான்செப்டில் அந்த ஏரியாவிலேருந்து தான் முதல்ல பாப்புலேட் ஆனாங்க. That is the reason that they are less. And the second thing is, and the breaking the bad news, explaining or getting a consent, இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள் அவங்களுக்கு இன்வால்வ் ஆகாததால் இந்த மாடியூல்ஸ் இருந்த 8-10 மாடியூல்ஸில் 3-4 மாடியூல்ஸ் பேராமெடிக்கல் பீப்புளுக்கு ரிலவெண்ட் இல்லாமல் இருந்தது பை அவர் மெடிக்கல் எத்திக்ஸ், மெடிக்கல் கோட். அதனால் அதை இன்வால்வ் ஆகலை. டுமாரோ ஆஸ் ஏடிஎம்இ சார் பாயிண்டட் அவுட், இப்போ விஹெச்என்ஸ்க்கு கோர் ஏரியா ஒன்று வர்றப்ப ப்ராபப்ளி த ஹோல் ட்ரைனிங் வில் பி பாப்புலேட்டட் டுவர்ட்ஸ் தெம் and doctors will not be much involved in that program. So it's basically the topic which dictated that.
So give a big hand to the TANQuest team for a very interesting and interactive panel discussion. Though they had interruptions, thank you all the team members for a wonderful discussion. Appo morning ketadu, you have any questions? Okay, we'll now move on to the next session. Yeah, please. I think I'll now invite Lakshya team, please. So the second topic for today's discussion is labor room quality standards, inclusive of labor room theatre. And Rajesh, how many studies were commissioned? Yes, please put the slide. And yes, so quality standards, we have to improve. And last session we had NQAS certification standards. And last operational research in Taj, we discussed about the challenges in NQAS. And in the final phase, we thought we will take it up Lakshya. So what are the challenges in implementing Lakshya in government healthcare facilities? The expert group members were Dr. Shanti Gunasingh, she was the former director of Institute of Obstetrics and Gynecology, Egmore. Kanindra Boyan is a health specialist, KHPT. Dr. Priya Thomas is the nodal officer for Lakshya in National Health Mission. And Dr. Ilangovan is the joint director of ESIC. So we had some 5 studies, we received the proposals, and these were the team members who selected, and only 1 study was commissioned, and that was done by Dr. Satya. Madam is basically a pediatrician. She retired as the HOD professor of pediatrics from Chengalpattu Medical College, and Madam is very much interested in newborn, in the the home, rural community services to the newborn child, the difficulties, how to, train the NGO workers. She's very much interested in that. And over to Dr. Satya for her presentation.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you, madam, for your kind words. I thank TNHS Party for selecting Gandhigram team for this study of challenges in implementing Lakshya. Sometimes people wonder why a pediatrician is doing study in Lakshya. It's because for a long time, for nearly 3 decades, I had been in neonatal unit, and I had very close interaction with the obstetricians and the care of the baby. Nowadays, we talk about 1,000 days of life, so where the care of the baby starts not after the birth of the child, but from the time of conception. So this study was started. So the goals and objectives, we all of us know, to reduce the preventable maternal death and improve the quality of care and enhance satisfaction. And over the 2 decades, our maternal mortality has declined considerably. But the neonatal mortality has declined when compared to India. India currently it is 20, and we have already reached a single digit. National Health Resource System Center says that approximately 46% of the maternal death and 40% of stillbirth and newborn death take place on the day of the delivery itself. So if we improve the intrapartum period, it will definitely help. And currently in Tamil Nadu, the Lakshya certified centers have increased from 2 to 114 over a period from 2018 to 225. And our maternal mortality, initially there is an increase between 2022, now it has decreased. The research question is, we really strive very hard to get Lakshya certification. We work really hard. Are we able to sustain the labor room quality throughout the year? So what are the challenges and barriers to sustain this Lakshya initiative? The aim and objective is to explore the challenges and barriers regarding existing infrastructure, staffing gap, Lakshya-related training needs, respectful maternity care, and develop recommendations. It's a mixed method study where we used both qualitative and quantitative methods. And in qualitative, we used the context assessment tool and in-depth interviews. The materials, the study population, healthcare providers, we interviewed the leaders in medical colleges, that is the dean, HODs, the doctors, nurses, and all these staff nurses, pharmacists, and sanitary workers. And for respectful maternity care, the mothers who have recently delivered in the institute were interviewed. So it is a purposive sampling. Initially, we wanted to do a comparison of high MMR and low MMR states, but there was a request from NHM to concentrate on high maternal mortality districts. So we chose high maternal mortality districts and aspirational districts, namely Virudhunagar and Ramnad, and all these were either certified for Lakshya or in the process of certification. So totally 9 medical colleges, 10 district, 10 sub-district hospitals, and also primary health centers were taken. The sample size for respectful maternity care was calculated and 900 mothers were interviewed. And various data collection tools were used for different components, which I will elaborate during the discussion. So the Lakshya assessment was done by the national and the state assessors during the normal period. So if you see this, most of the centers have scored, the labor room scores were more than 90 during the Lakshya certification. But during the study period, permission was obtained from all the respective departments, heads, and the deans, and the assessors of the national and the state assessors of NQAS, they visited the facility. So the scores are less when compared to the assessment period. Similarly, the theatre scores were also less. So when we see the area of concern-wise domain scores, the service provision was good, but whereas quality management had scored the lowest. So according to the Lancet Commission on High Quality Health System, improving healthcare quality alone could prevent nearly half of all maternal and newborn deaths. So the questions about variability and quality, why did we lose the scores and what happened between the time of certification and currently? So why we are not able to maintain it? So the leaders were questioned, Dean, HOD, matron, and other healthcare team. So for this, a quality assessment tool using Ardane Lab of Harvard Medical College was used. And these domains, leadership, motivation, data, using the data for improvement, staff availability, dedicated resources, knowledge and skill gaps were assessed. And here we used a heat map. So here the green ones are the strength in each institution and challenges are marked in red, whereas the yellow ones are some limitation. So among the leaders, especially motivation of the team and using the data for improvement and recognition and team culture seem to be a challenge. It's mainly because what we mean by team culture and recognition, we ask them for every month or periodically, are you recognized for your good work? But mostly people said either during August 15 or during January 26th, senior staff will be awarded in the collectorate. But others, they never got any recognition. But whereas the positive point is, all the leaders were interested in change, and many of them had experience with quality initiatives. So there is a separate assessment tool for the staff nurses, but the staff nurses, they talked in a different domain. They said the workload was heavy, and they too talked about the data, staffing availability, and they mentioned about knowledge and skill gap. So this is the heat map. So both all medical college district and sub-district hospital, data for improvement and recognition, team culture and motivation were challenges. In medical colleges, after the NMC norm, the staff dedicated resources was not a big challenge. But whereas in the case of leaders, various type of facilities, medical college, they felt knowledge and skill gap. And when we asked them were any roles and responsibilities was assigned to you, Some of them, they said, we are asked to work, but we don't know what is the real responsibility. And communication across the hospital, like do you get all information about your stillbirth rate and what quality improvement you need to do? Some of them, they said, HODs attend, but we are not sure. So all these are mentioned as negative in this study. And the next component is the respective maternity care, which is provided at the health facility for mothers. So here, more than 900 mothers were interviewed across the facilities, and the median score was 77.3. I'm glad to say that when compared to our previous studies in Tamil Nadu, the respective maternity score has increased. The previous study, we had only scored 50, but currently we have increased. And people were happy about the respect and dignity they get and the predictability and transparency of the payment. But we need to improve in supportive care, facility for improvement, and communication and autonomy. That means supportive care means whether we provide birth companion all the time and how the patients feel about the toilets, the space for them to walk. Communication and autonomy is whether they have the option to change their position or whether they are aware of that. And in the supportive care domain, 86% of the women reported that received verbal encouragement, and the healthcare staff had paid attention to all their needs. But it's really a very good one. There is a good appreciation, and even people from upper middle class have started attending the government system because there is a good cleanliness and there is an improvement in the environment. But people said that regarding the cot, 90% felt that cots were clean, but 21% felt they were only using a steel cot without a mattress, and 1% received no cot. And 14% felt the space was inadequate in between the cot. And for changing the linen is an important component for sepsis, and 50% said it was not changed frequently. And the quality of care in newborn is, as per the Lakshya, whether the mother received skin-to-skin contact, immediately placed in the abdomen, only 18%, and they are not supposed to separated for routine care, but 50% were separated. And the good thing is 85% of the mothers were informed about the weight of the baby. Breastfeeding within 1 hour is one of the quality indicators. As per the National Family Health Survey in Tamil Nadu, 60% of the mothers had breastfed within 1 hour. But in these high mortality districts, only 30% of the normally delivered mothers initiated breastfeeding in the labor room. And birth companion, the questions were asked whether the birth companion was trained and what was the role of the birth companion and whether they had access to shelter and whether they had given chair. These are all the components of respective care. They said birth companion was allowed sometimes before and sometime after delivery. But when we asked the birth companion, what was your role? They said, chuma bedsheet, towel எடுத்துட்டு போறது, coffee எடுத்துட்டு போறது. So அந்த மாதிரி, but they were you given any training? They said they were not given training. And 8.8% of the mothers had birth companion during delivery. And shifting from the labor room, as per the current Lakshya standards, the baby should be in skin-to-skin contact. Only 9% were shifted to the wards together. Others were either carried by the hospital workers or by the relatives. And the other important practice is there's question in respectful maternity care about modern obstetric practices. Whereas here, did they shave the perineum and enema provided and fundal pressure? So these are the non-adherence to modern obstetric practices. And Next assessment was the skill assessment of the people who work in the labor room. So here for skill assessment, either DMCHO or the obstetricians, they conducted drills, and the MCH skill lab equipments were carried in a vehicle to each institution, and the drills were done using Lakshya checklist for nurses and doctors who were available in the labor room at that time. The assessment was done by pediatrician, OGCN, and NQAS assessor. So here, the PPH and Amstel were getting the low score, only 55 and 58%. And newborn resuscitation, most of them, they scored less because they said we will call the newborn team and we don't get involved in resuscitation. They were felt stressed. The job is challenging. And 44% said there is no reward or targets. And nearly 40 nurses and the association, they want them to rotate. So there is, the matron said she's caught in a dilemma and how to manage. So the same question we posed back to the matrons. We also asked the staff nurses, if all of you leave at the same time, the mothers will die. So what can we do? So they said we can have some policy recommendations, that is replace no more than 30% of the staff annually, and there should be a staggered approach, and all new staffs to be trained along with the experienced staff, and to make them stay in the same place, extra incentives, or some staffs, they said at least one extra off will really help them. And for people who continue to work for more than 1 year in the labor room or other emergencies, they suggested we can get 1 week extra leave. Actually, these recommendations are already being followed up in Nordic countries and in Europe. People who really work very hard in the labor room, they get extra leave. So I think if this policy is recommended, then there'll be a non-rotation of staffs. And the people, they really work hard in the labor room and also at home. And many staff nurses, they said, when we go back at home, we always think, have I missed anything? Or if a mother dies, a lot of stress and then guilt is there. The stress management, coping strategies, and counseling need to be our routine in such stressful areas. And the next question, another one is the documentation of the K-sheet audit findings. So this was done by the Lakshya assessors, and they found the percentage of partograph done in the K-sheet, oxytocin documentation was less than 30%, and percentage of episiotomy for primaries was 85%, and the BP recording after delivery and before discharge was 70 to 80%. So these were all done by the Lakshya assessors. And the sanitary workers and the supervisors were interviewed. The supervisors seem to be a little bit less stressed, but the sanitary workers are stressed in most of the places, especially in sub-district and district hospital. The strength of what they said is we are all trained in biomedical management, but the challenge is based on bed strength, which was given previously. Currently, there is an allotment. So their recommendation is need to increase the sanitation workers as per the bed strength. And I'm the only worker working here in this shift, and all other wards, I can't do frequent mopping. So these were the quotes from the sanitary workers. And some of them, when we asked them about the liquids, they said, really, we don't know. We just add some water and use. And in district hospital, sub-district hospital, less than 50 beds, no sanitary worker is given. And only one person is there, and he's not able to take week off. And even 1 day week off, they said their salary is cut. So the best practices that's being observed in spite of all the difficulties, people were expressing best practices in their institution. And here, one best practice what we found in Tirupur is, in many places, people have to stand in a queue and take a plate and get food, and it was considered a bit below their dignity. As a part of respectful maternity care, the Tirupur Dean, he has done a different innovation. So here they have taken food, and they also have the register for food distribution. And wherever we go, people initially, when we started the study, they were complaining about records. All the staffs were saying how long we can work. We finish the work and we keep on writing the records. But luckily, before we could finish the study, about 140 records were reduced to 40 records, which is really a very good initiative. And in Dindigul Medical College, they were using color-coded bed sheets as per the quality standards, which was really appreciated by the mothers and the grandparents. And many people, they said, like, we want to leave labor room. But we found one positive thing is, in Virudhunagar, all the nurses, they said, more than 5 years we are in the labor room. We are friends, we are a good team, and we will not labor the room. So this good team culture is really very important in the labor room. And we asked them how you are all staying back and whether everyone wants to leave. They said, like, they have a habit of going together for all functions and then taking a sari of the same color, and they have their own stress mechanisms and coping strategies. So Virudhunagar district has reached 0 maternal mortality last year, and there is what we found other than that in Virudhunagar. In many districts, we found DME, DPH, and DMS institutions were performing separately. Though the mother moves from one institution to the other, the finances and the manpower are very much compartmentalized. But the Virudhunagar, we found the Dean, JD, DHO, they discuss the needs of the manpower. And from medical college, they go and help in Rajapalayam, or they also go and help Sivakasi. And similarly, for any camps, there is a lot of interchange of manpower in Virudhunagar. So the recommendations are for staffing shortage, rationalization of the trained manpower, record keeping to be strengthened, and the sanitation, especially toilet facilities, need to be improved in all CMONG centers. The one request from all the sanitary workers is to innovate a toilet which does not get blocked. They said, ma'am, there are many toilets in train which has got a suction system. Can we have similar thing in our system? Why do we have to clean with our hands? So the flushes to be replaced and address the toilet needs in high patient load areas. So we need to do some innovation, especially toilets without bent pipeline to avoid blockages. And many times the leaders were feeling that administration was stressful. Many of them were good clinicians, and suddenly they were pushed into the administrative jobs. So they were asking, why can't we have executive MBA health hospital management courses in Tamil Nadu, so that this management team will manage the administration, and whereas clinicians can run the clinical work. And there is also many courses about health economics which can be taken up by our Tamil Nadu government. So this is the last slide. I just want you to just see that. So this was the slide. I think all of you know about Muthulakshmi Reddy. She collected data, and in that data, she had shown 0 to 5 years, more than 1,000 kids were widowed, and before 15 years, 23 children were widowed. So this only with data is a good tool. So with this data, she could really fight with the government and she could change the system. So but luckily now we have a very good government system who is helping us to change and then to improve. So I'm really thankful to all the deans, all the obstetricians, joint directors, nurses, and the sanitary team who shared their experience with me, so that we could present it in a scientific manner to the Tamil Nadu government. And like Muthulakshmi Reddy, 100 years before, she changed the system single-handedly. I think when all of us join together, we can do a better job. Thank you.
That was a wonderful study. Being an OGIan and retiring from the Institute of Obstetrics and Gynecology, she has brought out the wonderful indicators which was really an eye-opening, because I have spent all my lifetime in the DME institutions, not knowing what is happening in the DMS institutions. But with limited resources, I found that they were faring better than the DME institutions. So it is not the manpower, it is the mind that we should see that should create a revolution and give a quality of care. So we'll now have the panel discussion. So for this, I invite Dr. Nalina, who is a Nodal Officer CMONG from KGH, who will be the moderator for the session. I would request you to keep on to the time because we are being delayed. Dr. Sumati, who is the Director of Institute of Obstetrics and Gynecology. Josephine JD CMONG from DMS. Dr. Bhuvaneshwari, thank you so much, madam, for coming. Kanchipuram District Headquarters Hospital. Please. I think I saw Kanmani also. She can also come. She's there. Okay, come. Any CMONG staff nurse who has come here? Any CMONG staff nurse? Tirupattur staff nurse or anybody who are willing, you can even share your experiences at the end. Thank you. Requesting the team members to stick on to your time.
Hello. Good morning, one and all. I thank the organizers as well as we have the privilege to deal with pregnant women. Maternal health is always the heart of any health system throughout the world, and Lakshya has been very instrumental in delivering health care and qualitative care of the pregnant mothers, intrapartum and postpartum. So our goal, state task force sets a goal of less than 10 by another 2 years, and this is being instrumentalized by effective implementation of the Lakshya. So, and I'll be failing if I do not acknowledge the works of the State Nodal, Lakshya Nodal Officer, Dr. Priya, and our team who have been very perseverant in supporting us and guiding us throughout the implementation and throughout the state for a sustained effective outcome. Okay. Okay, coming to the background, the main thing is respective maternal care. Okay. Repeatedly we have been talking about it. It is a human right. It is a universal human right that is due for every childbearing woman. It includes respect for the woman's autonomy, dignity, and feelings, and they need the privacy during labor, not only during labor, in any phase of life. Choices, fertility choices, choices of treatment, choices of childbirth procedures, and freedom from ill treatment, and consideration for the personal preference, including option for companionship during the maternity care. Lakshya is a holistic approach to strengthen the quality of care in the intrapartum and postpartum. It has a multi-pronged strategy. And hence, with this background, we'll go to the goals. As Madam was already telling, our goal is to reduce the preventable maternal deaths. Okay. So with this, I would like to call upon my panelists. First of all, what were the drastic changes? Definitely, there has been a drastic change over the in the product in the delivering the healthcare to the pregnant mothers. What are the drastic changes which has come before and after? The comparison can be in your facilities, in a DME institution and DMS institution. I would like to call Madam Sumati, who is the director of the DME, premier DME institution in Chennai.
See, the change which has happened, actually, Madam has presented, Satya Madam has presented what has happened. There is definitely a reduction in the maternal mortality which has been happening all over the state, and also the reduction in the neonatal mortality rate. So our goal is to reduce maternal mortality, and we also wanted to increase the institutional deliveries because to reduce it. Once they go out to the institute, the person or the mother who is there is going inside the hospital without people, or it is not like how it is home deliveries. So what has happened is the custom which was there previously, when the mother enters, she will not have a birth companion. She will be in the hands of the doctors and the staff nurses, and the emotions were not taken care of. So this part of it has changed because of the birth companions. So emotionally, the patient, once she comes out, we could say a change in the attitude or what has happened. The patient satisfaction is good because of this. And not only that, because we have a standard of Lakshya which is asking us on quality, the knowledge and the capacities of the doctors, not only the doctors and the staff nurses, but also the healthcare workers has improved so much that the healthcare workers are bothered about the infection control which is happening, and also the communication which is also to be given by the doctors. So the respectful maternity care is increasing, the reduction in the maternal mortality is happening, the knowledge and capacity building of all the people is improved. So this is what has happened because of Lakshya. And data which was written and it was known only for us. It was only for the hospitals. Now it is known throughout. And data collection has made so much of change that where we are able to do it. And we are also able to do the auditing, not only on the maternal mortality, but also on the near misses. And it gives us a chance to a continuous improvement. So these are all the changes which has happened after the elections.
Madam. Nicely enumerated. Actually, the Daksha training and other training programs as a part of Lakshya is being always instrumental in changing the attitudes and, and improving the knowledge of the healthcare providers. By that, their staff nurses and other healthcare providers are being constantly also being surveillance, and they are updated. So they are able to keep par and increase the standard of care which is given to the pregnant mothers. Yes, ma'am. And definitely the infrastructures has changed because the needs when the Lakshya is, the standards are high, and all the administrators have been very instrumental in providing the all the facilities, delivery care facilities with all the necessary equipments. So equipments and monitoring, not only by procuring equipments, after some days it will become, it will have a breakdown. So with less breakdown and easy calibration, standard is being still, we are able to maintain the standards. Madam, what about your DMS side, madam? What?
As we know, ma'am, the DMS institutions, they form the crucial link between the primary and the tertiary. We have addressed the main issue of timely referral to the tertiary care centers by this Lakshya protocols. We have taken up the upscaling the infrastructure facilities in our secondary care centers very seriously by this Lakshya, by adhering to the Lakshya protocols. Before the Lakshya era, we didn't put so much impetus on upscaling the infrastructure and also the positive birthing experience, the term respectful maternity care itself has instilled a sense of responsibility and ownership to our staffs and to our doctors. Before these terms were coined, we were doing our work, but not with this sense of accountability. But the terms and the protocols which have been given by the Lakshya, we were able to bring the team together. So actually, teams have been formed in district hospitals and also in some sub-district hospitals with the case load, with the heavy case loads. So these quality teams under the leadership of the CMO or by the hospital superintendent, like some heavy workload centers like Kanchipuram and Tirupattur, they are adhering to a delivery load of 500 and above, and they have some good quality teams working there. So they actually they come together every month and they discuss about the protocols that has been missed in and the near miss cases, and also the positive birthing experiences and the negative feedbacks they get from the public. And the main important one is we repeatedly stress upon the timely referral that is very much needed to ensure that the tertiary care centers are not, kept unaware of the sudden and unwarranted some referrals which have been done from the secondary care centers previously. Now pre-arrival intimations and also the referral slips have been properly given, and all our CMON centers, rather than, except some 6 CMON centers, we all have blood transfusion facilities, which is absolutely essential in case of critical referral from primary care. So in this way, in all, we have been working expediently in upscaling all the areas which are the areas of concern, madam. So we have been able to do some help to the tertiary care centers in bringing down the critical referrals.
Yes, madam, nicely said. Well elaborated. Knowledge imparting is a part, and the accountability is one which makes the difference to cater to the population. Yes, and the outcome is always based upon the accountability. So even while referring, you have to inform and coordinate. This coordination has definitely brought down multiple references. So early intervention is definitely being given to the pregnant mothers, and thus it reduces the maternal mortality. Okay, okay, madam. Madam, your observations, madam.
Oh, anyway, I have left service long time ago, but then with this project, we have understood that so much goodness has come about, but then it is important to continue to maintain the standards and audit ourselves too. So much improvement is there, that is very, very true. But then we have to continue to maintain the standards, and there is always room for improvement. That is what has been noticed.
Madam, what are the challenges you have faced, madam, in the implementation in the initial stage? Madam Josephine.
In the initial stages, ma'am, no one was willing to, as mentioned, to work in the labor room with such huge amount of registers and quality indicators which were put forth by the Lakshya team. But later on, with the marks awarding and incentivization of from the state, now there's no such resentment from the team. Actually, the rotation which has been put forth by the matrons, which is not advisable, we feel, madam. The team that has to go on for at least 1 year, but that is not in practice in our departments, which is the main factor which is put forth by our obstetricians. They form a team, they group together, they work, but suddenly the team is shuffled and sent somewhere to ortho team, like that, and entirely a new team has to be reconstituted. So this needs some inputs so that they could, the model is sustainable. And the other one is in our due to some HR shortages, we need to pull up the some better working doctors and staffs from other sub-district hospitals to the district hospital to put forth a team. Rather than that, I feel that Lakshaya's team spirit is just building up in secondary care centers.
Teamwork is very important,
ma'am.
it's vital in provision of the maternal care, quality maternal care. And as you were told, initially it was made mandate to work in the labor ward, not to move around. Now people are very willingly wanting to work in labor ward because the time and the satisfaction they get is better than when compared to the other wards, where the patient communication and interactions are very much less. Yes, ma'am. Madam, about DME institutions, madam, challenges. Yes, the moving population.
The challenges are different in medical college hospital. The knowledge and capacity building is to be sustained, but the knowledge and capacity building for the same persons are not there. Because we have CRRIs, we have postgraduates, come and go and come and go. So unless otherwise we have a structured program of curriculum implementation into the postgraduate study, and also though we have an ADCOM in UG, it also has to come to postgraduate implementation into the curriculum. It is difficult, and that is one part of it. And number two is, as said, we also have a population of staff nurses which are being moved. It is in an institution like Obstetric and Gynae, where we have maternity center exclusive, it is not a problem. But whereas in a hospital like Kilpack Hospital or another medical college hospital, the same team will not be there inside the labor room. The staff nurses will go into other departments, and so we have difficulty, though a team is very important. So this is regarding the implementation problem. Not only that, we have problems with infrastructure in medical colleges, especially the older medical colleges where we don't have an ETP or a STP, which has not been there inside, and getting the license from the pollution control and also the biomedical waste department. So all these things are a challenge. In fact, the administrators have to go towards that, and also knowledge and capacity building, and also to quality improvement. So much of challenge is there. It is difficult for that part of it. And even the consumables, I think we will not have problem because we have additional funds from CMONG. So that is that part of it is taken care of. We don't have any problem as far as the funds are concerned, especially the Department of Obstetrics and Gynae. But sometimes in the medical colleges, like because you have a CMONG fund, we will not have a general budget allocation. It will be given for the other departments, and we will not have the issue like that, especially in other medical colleges. But in an institute like where we have Obstetrics and Gynae, like IOG, KGH, or RSRM, or in fact with RMH, I don't think it's a challenge. So medical college aspect, these are all the challenges, and sustenance is very, very difficult as we are concerned because of the HR who has to be trained continuously.
Yes, ma'am. Madam, being from a DMS institution with high delivery load, how do you change the drastic change following Lakshya implementation, and what are the challenges as a nodal officer you are faced during the process of implementation, and what challenges are there to sustain the effect?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. First, we were Lakshya certified in 2020, ma'am. That time, we were only focused on certification. We didn't have any plans for sustaining the quality or any audits or anything. Later, even doctors and staffs were lacking in motivation towards that quality. They were burdened with the heavy load of deliveries. They were burdened with the quality of care towards the patients, and they were asked to work for more thing. So they were lack of motivation towards the quality. So we were quality team members were continuously training and talking about the quality and insisting on the quality process, and we were giving continuous training for the doctors, staffs, sanitary workers, and everyone involved in the process, and continuous training were going on for past 3-4 years. So with that, even sanitary workers were very well trained on infection control practices and biomedical waste management, everything they were. And staffs were, now they are, they got motivated and they wanted to work in labor room. They don't want to go outside of, we got a good team, ma'am. We got good team of doctors, staffs and workers also. So for the past 1 year till date, we have zero maternal mortality, ma'am. And we are maintaining, we too have challenges in maintaining the quality, like communication to the patients, maybe some barriers are there, but we are still working on it, ma'am. We'll improve in the future with more number of trainings and protocols and managements. We are giving skills training, obstetric drills, and simulation labs are there. So we do that trainings.
For
Well
one
said,
of
ma'am.
time, because it is getting
Started.
closer to the lunch session, because see, what I personally feel is when you talk about quality means there's something different. It has to be inbuilt in the person and it has to be a routine process. This is what, this is not a separate thing. லக்ஷயா வராங்க என்குவாஸ் வராங்க அதுக்கு நான் இப்படி பண்ணுவேன்னு சொல்லி ரெஜிஸ்டர்ஸ் கட்ட போடுறது அன்னைக்கு எல்லாம் நல்லா இருக்கிறது இஸ் நாட் அட் ஆல் குவாலிட்டி. ப்ளீஸ் the communication, the standards of sterilization, everything must be a continuous process and it should be inbuilt and they should do it as a routine. Now this is very, very important and thank you very much team for your wonderful discussion. Please pardon me because time is catching up with me. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I request the Lakshya Nodal Officer to develop strategies to sustain the.
Yeah, so now I
Positive
request upon
aspects.
Dr. Shanti Gunasingh to honor the dignitaries. Dr. Sumati, JD Seemonk, madam. JD Seemonk. Dr. Nalina, moderator. And Dr. Bhuvaneshwari, thank you, madam. You have traveled from Kanchipuram. Thank you very much to share your experiences. Yes. Yeah, Satya, madam. I would like to, both of us would like to honor Dr. Satya as well as Dr. Priya. So we now move on to the third topic before lunch. That will be trauma registry. So Rajesh, put the slide, please. So for this, I invite ICMR, NIE, Navanitha Krishnan to present his study on the trauma registry module. Thai concept has been wrought by TNHS RP, and you know that trauma care, deaths due to trauma itself has come down. And to know that whether the registry has really helped us, how much of the registry is being rolled out, I think Navanitha Krishnan will be talking a study on evaluation of rollout of trauma registry. in the health facilities across DMS and DME. We have received 3 proposals, of which one was commissioned, and for that the ICMR NIE was selected. The expert panel members were Dr. John Varghese, who is the Associate Director of St. John's Medical College, and Dr. Girish, Dr. St. John's Medical College, Professor Srikanth, Professor HOD of Emergency Department, Vellore Medical College. Over to you, sir.
Can I get the slide changer? Slide changer, yeah? Okay. So, good morning all. I'm Dr. Navanidas Krishna, scientist from ICMR National Institute of Epidemiology. So today I'm presenting the results of our study, evaluation of Tamil Nadu Accident and Emergency Care Initiative Trauma Registry in government health facilities in Tamil Nadu. So, Government of Tamil Nadu, can you go back to the previous slide? Previous slide, yeah. Government of Tamil Nadu has launched this IT-based trauma registry for the real-time capture of data about the individuals admitted in Thai care centers. So the program aimed to integrate the pre-hospital, in-hospital and the post-discharge care components of people admitted in Thai care centers, which was initiated as a pilot project in Government Vellore Medical College and Ambur Government General Hospital, and which was then expanded in phased manner and currently functioning in 111 health facilities. 5 years after its implementation, now it's time to do an evaluation of the program. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. Hence, we came with this objective, one, to evaluate the trauma registry in terms of its completeness and correctness, and then to explore the challenges in implementation of the trauma registry in government health facilities in Tamil Nadu. Next. Next. So we adopted a mixed methods approach where we included various techniques like one, document review of all existing government orders related to the program, analysis of the trauma registry data, clinical record review where we retrieved the patient case sheets and compared the data entry into trauma registry portal with the patient case sheets, and in-depth interview, qualitative interview of various stakeholders involved in the program, health facility survey, and interview of data entry staffs in the hospital who are involved in the data entry process to trauma registry. Next. So these were the 12 study sites where we conducted the health facility survey. Next. Next. Yeah. Coming to the next. One more plus. Yeah. So coming to the results, initially I will briefly describe the functioning of trauma registry. So in the trauma registry starts with the 108 call center receives a call regarding the patient. So an emergency department patient with an emergency condition. So this call will be then transferred to the 108 ambulance people and they will be coming and picking the patient from the scene. Once they pick the patient from the scene, the patient details will be entered into the trauma registry portal through their mobile application, and the pre-arrival information related to the person will be displayed in a TV which is there in the emergency department of the hospital. Following that, the person will be taken to the hospital. In the hospital, as the person receives the care, there will be screening by the triage nurse, followed by primary survey and secondary survey, the medical officer. So as the care the person receives, the modules like triage nurse module and EMO2 and EMO1 and EMO2 modules will be filled. In addition to that, the other care that the person receives, like if the patient require laboratory care, laboratory investigations or any specialist opinion, such optional modules will also come. Finally, the rehabilitation care that the person received will also be added to the portal. And this is also envisaged to integrate with the other existing surveillance like state surveillance unit and IRADS and police records. Next. So, to assess about the pre-hospitalization arm, we conducted interview of the ambulance staff who are involved in the program, who are involved in data data entry to the registry in the program. So what we found out was, can you press one? Yeah. Yeah. So nearly 40% of these people have received some kind of training related to the data entry to the trauma registry portal. And nearly half of them said they had some kind of user manual available with them, which is guiding them on how to do the data entry to the trauma registry portal. And most of them were able to do the data entry before they shift the patient to the hospital. Next. So coming to the human resource availability in the health facility, for the functioning of trauma registry, two dedicated human resource was allotted. One is trauma assistant, second is ED secretary. Every level 1 and level 2 facilities was provided with 2 trauma assistant and 1 ED secretary, and level 3 facilities were allotted with 1 trauma assistant, no ED secretaries. So the posts for ED secretary and trauma assistant were largely filled, but 3 out of the 4 level 2 facility that we visited, the trauma ED secretary posts were vacant at that time of visit. Next. In addition to that, the facilities were also involving other data entry contractual staff for data entry purpose to trauma registry. Next. Next. Another challenge that we identified during our study was most of the people who are involved in the data entry to trauma registry did not receive any kind of formal training on how to do the data entry. A similar kind of finding we received in our qualitative analysis also. Another challenge was the lack of clarity in the roles and responsibility of people. It's like whether the trauma and ED secretary, whether they are supposed to do only the data entry work or whether they are supposed to do the additional clinical work also. So there was a lack of clarity in the roles and responsibilities. Next. And coming to the other infrastructure availability, the infrastructure in terms of internet access, computers, TV, printers, all were largely available in all the visited health facility. But as I said earlier, the user manuals which guide the staff on how to do the data entry was not available in most of the facilities. And the computer that was available were mostly functional and were mostly utilized for the data entry purpose to trauma registry itself. Next. Next. So, coming to the completeness of data entry, we analyzed the trauma registry data in the first 6 months, that is from September 2021 to February 2022, and last 6 months before we start the study, which was from February 2024 to July 2024. In the first 6 months, there were a total of nearly 3 lakhs entries into the trauma registry portal. Among them, half of them were from 108 ambulance and half of them directly went to the hospital. Among the half of the entry that was through the 108 ambulance, among them, 33% of entry was not carried out in the triagenous module. So there is a missing of nearly 40% entries from the 108 ambulance to triagenous. Following that, between triagenous and EMO 1, there was no much missing entry. And after EMO, these cases are segregated into trauma and non-trauma cases. Among the trauma cases, they are then categorized into black, red, yellow, and green based on the ED disposition category. And from the EMO 1 to EMO 2, only trauma, that to red and yellow cases were going to the EMO 2 module. So among the eligible cases which are supposed to go to the EMO module, we observed a missing of 33% of cases. 1/3 of the cases were not entered into the EMO 2 module. Following that, in the modules like surgery, X-ray, CT, lab, and rehabilitation also, the total number of entries remained low in the first 6 months. Next. So in the next 6 months, the last 6 months when we analyze, the total number of entries has increased drastically from 3 lakhs to 11 lakhs because the number of centers are increased. But the number of missing entries between the 108 to triagenous almost remained the same, around 34%. But the number of missing entries between EMO 1 and EMO 2 has drastically reduced from 33% to 9.5%. And also the number of entries in the surgery, X-ray, CT, and lab modules are increased. But the number of entries in the rehabilitation module, which remain little low. Next. Next. So some of the challenges that we identified as the reason for this incompleteness were, one was lack of interdepartmental coordination. That is, there was no standard mechanism on how to get the data from various departments like ICU, MRD section, and other departments. Second one was the complexity of the portal, and the data entry to the portal was considered as a low priority work. Next. Coming to the correctness of the study, correctness of the data entry, here we took the patient case sheet for the month of July 2024, And we compared the entry that happened in the trauma registry for the patient and the same in the patient case sheet. So one challenge that we identified here was the patient details were actually entered into the trauma registry portal for some variables, like for example, pupil size and ED disposition. But this information was not available in the case record because this was a mandatory variable in the trauma registry, so they cannot go to the subsequent module without filling that. But the same was not commonly filled by the medical officer in the case sheet. So this was one problem that we had with assessing the correctness of the data, which is shown in the yellow shaded area in the graph. And apart from that, the overall correctness, where the information in the trauma registry matches with what is there in the case sheet, were 50% or lesser in most of the variables that we looked for. Next. So one challenge that we identified as the reason for this lack of correctness was lack of operational definition. So what to be considered as various conditions? Say for example, in one of the visited hospital, they were considering even the minor surgeries as to be entered in the surgery module. While in some other hospitals, only the major surgeries which require anesthesia were considered to be entered into the trauma registry portal. So what to be considered as what? So this lack of operational definition was one challenge that we identified during our study. Next. So other challenges were there is no systematic monitoring mechanism to assess the completeness and correctness and no feedback mechanism to correct the user problems with the portal. Next. And we also assess the trauma registry portal in terms of its utility. So it was a very large database, very potential source of data which can be utilized for multiple purposes like quality improvement, description and planning, the effects on post-discharge care, effect of pre-hospitalization, hospital care, and also for various research purposes. But currently, this trauma registry data is being minimally utilized for all these proposed purposes because there was no structured program or protocol which was there in the program to use this data for these purposes. Next. So to end, this is a great initiative by the government of Tamil Nadu to start a trauma registry to capture in real time the data on each individual admitted in TRI centers from pre-hospitalization, hospitalization, and even follow them during the discharge time. And it creates a data-rich source which can be utilized for various purposes. And we have spent a lot of money in terms of human resource and other devices which are largely available, and the human resource was largely filled. And this data entry device, this infrastructure were largely available in all the health facilities. Second thing, the number of the overall data entry was improved in the last 6 months compared to the first 6 months in almost every module. However, there was still some inaccuracies and incompleteness, especially when it comes to modules like rehabilitation. Some of the challenges that we identified as one was lack of formal training, this data entry process perceived as a low priority work, lack of clarity in the roles and responsibility of people, portal complexity, some ambiguities in the operational definition, problems with the interdepartmental coordination, lack of structured internal quality and lack of internal quality reviews. And also the trauma registry was suboptimally utilized for various administrative and clinical quality improvement purposes. Next. So to conclude, the trauma registry is a very important tool which need to be continued, and this to improve the quality of data that is being entered into the portal, we have to make some modification in the current functioning of that. The first one will be to have a user manual with clear operational definition for each variable on what they means and each options within the question on what they means, and to implement structured and regular training program to the people who are actually involved in the data entry to the trauma registry portal. Second thing, to have a detailed data dictionary on how to get analysis using the data. So when we tried the analysis using the data, it took us a lot of time to understand what each variable is and what each question represents which question represents each variable. So having a clear data dictionary will help future analysis using the data. Second, then to make the portal user-friendly by simplifying the login process and reducing the number of variables. So the number of variables that are actually in the registry need to be flexible, and that should be purpose-driven. Purpose in terms of clinical or public health importance of these variables. And also we need some mechanism to utilize the trauma registry data for the administrative and clinical planning and decision-making purpose. It's such a big, rich source of data which can be utilized for multiple purposes, and we have to establish a mechanism for that. Also, periodic internal evaluation mechanism need to be there to assess the completeness, correctness, and utility of trauma registry data. Thank you. Next.
So we'll now have a panel discussion. I now invite Lydia, who is the nodal officer for trauma in NHM. You can call out your members. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I now call upon Dr. Shrikant, Emergency Department HOD from Vellore Medical College Hospital, Dr. Bhavani, Emergency Department HOD, Stanley Medical College Hospital, Dr. Gomathi Karmega ma'am, ED HOD, Rajiv Gandhi Government General Hospital. I request Dr. Karthikeyan from Pollachi District Headquarters Hospital, Dr. Kiruba from Athur Government Hospital, Salem, Dr. Ravi sir from Salem Medical College Hospital to please join the panel.
Hand mic. Dilip, you want? Come. Yes, Lydia. The floor is yours. Yeah. No, I will give you a hand mic. No problem. Oh, yes. I'll ask them to put one more chair. Oru chair. Seekram. Till then you can stand. No problem. Yeah.
Before we set up for the thing, I would like to talk about like what THAI was and everything. So THAI is a scheme which was mainly brought about to reduce road traffic injuries. So road traffic injuries were really rising, and Tamil Nadu was a leading state with high mortality and morbidity. So to address that issue, the state had brought in the initiative called Tamil Nadu Accident and Emergency Care Initiative, which not only caters to road traffic injuries, but also non-trauma and other trauma emergencies. So the casualty was reorganized. So we did not bring in any infrastructure as such. The casualty was reorganized into emergency departments in the medical college hospitals and emergency rooms in the smaller hospitals, the district headquarters hospital and the sub-district hospitals. So to develop upon that, like we crossed over 5 to 6 years now, we developed the THAI Trauma Registry software, which is mainly to capture the digital information that is available in the ED in one platform. Not only the in-hospital data is collected, from the time the patient is picked up in the ambulance, the in-transit care and the immediate care that is given in the emergency rooms and the casualty is captured in this portal. So I thank Navaneethan and team for doing that wonderful study. You have really brought out the study very well. I now open the discussion with the panelists. I would like to first ask the panelists if they would like to ask questions to the presentation team. Gomathi ma'am, if you have, you are part of the team actually, so probably Shrikant sir, if you have anything to ask the panelist team, I mean the researchers, you can, your questions can be asked.
Thank you, madam. So you enjoyed this study?
Yes, sir.
So you brought out so many eye-opening facts about trauma registry. Trauma registry is basically, you would have gone through good literatures about trauma registry. As we discussed, could you bring out some of the information about Tamil Nadu's involvement in developing trauma registry, as Lydia has said, Thai and all, some history?
So, actually, it's a great initiative, first of all. So, this is a great initiative, first of all. So, here the trauma registry is not only incorporating the in-hospital care, it starts from the pre-hospital. And one important aspect is that pre-arrival intimation. So, in case of there is any mass casualty that is coming, the health facility gets the time to prepare for the mass casualty. It shows the category of the patient that is coming, the estimated time of arrival. So the ambulance staff has a portal where they can enter the data, so the health facility can get prepared for this mass casualty and how to deal with that. So this is one important aspect of this program. Second one, it is capturing all this information, what is happening in the pre-hospital, what is the condition at which the patient was there in the ambulance, what were the clinical care that is given at that point of time, what is the condition when we received at hospital.
Yes, sir. We can understand all these things. Comparatively, in many other states, do we have any other trauma registry, parallel trauma registries in India?
In India, such a big network which include all the public health facilities, which connect all the public health facilities, I don't think there is no other system like that. There may be trauma registry which works at institutional level. Some institutes have their own trauma registry, they have HMIS system. But a system that connects all the health facilities in a state, which is such a great initiative. Yes.
So because of TNHSRP, initially I had this idea of developing trauma registry. In fact, after 2021, during that COVID, as Lydia said, Thai is not only trauma, it is trauma come all other emergencies. Literally, remaining emergencies other than trauma is more than 80%, medical emergencies and other emergencies. So this trauma registry was rolled out, in fact, as common emergency registry. Am I correct, Lydia? So this is not purely a trauma registry, but from EMO2 module, it has become a trauma registry. So there are so many difficulties we encountered during this. Actually, our TNHSRP has rolled out this trauma registry program that was parallel with COVID pandemic. We started the TNHSRP program in 2020. And we started our COVID first wave in March 2021, and we had big troubles in rolling out trauma registry, and we were more focused on scaling up the centers rather than giving more definitions, more things. So as you rightly said, most of the infrastructures have been placed. And as you said, the importance of trauma registry or any other disease registry is very important. So your experience from Premier Institute, madam?
From Rajiv Gandhi. So Navneetha Krishnan, you've done a beautiful work on a very, very difficult topic.
Thank you,
it's not easy. Trauma registry வந்து TNHSRP ல roll out பண்ணிருந்தாலும், it was a very heroic attempt in capturing the entire real-time data. இப்போ இங்கே இருக்கிறவங்க மற்றவங்களுக்கு புரிகிற மாதிரி சொல்லணுன்னா, ஒரு பேஷண்ட் அடிபட்டு வரும்போது 108லேருந்து யாரெல்லாம் அந்த பேஷண்ட்டை பார்க்குறாங்களோ டிஸ்சார்ஜ் வரைக்கும் 12 மாடியூலில் வந்து என்ட்ரி போடணும். ஸோ எந்தெந்த இடத்துல என்ட்ரி போட்டிருக்காங்க, எந்தெந்த இடத்துல என்ட்ரி போடலை அப்படிங்கிறத ரொம்ப அழகாக தெளிவாக சொல்லியிருக்கீங்க. பட் ஒன் திங் விச் இஸ் ஆக்சுவலி பீங் மிஸ்ட் ஹியர், நீங்கள் இன்னொன்று ஒரு முக்கியமான பாயிண்ட் சொன்னீங்க. அதாவது it gives us an idea of mass casualty. Yes. It gives us an idea of code blue. Patient or ambulance-ல arrest-ல வர்றாங்க, அந்த red light blink ஆச்சுன்னா the entire team is in alert mode. Yes. அந்த ரொம்ப அழகாக சொன்னீங்க. But where we have failed is when we are actively resuscitating a patient, entering data becomes a little difficult. Yes. Which maybe we could have come out with a little more suggestions of making the job easier. We are in the era of artificial intelligence now. Can it be used wisely maybe by just voicing out notes which can be entered as modules. Can that be entertained? That should be the look of the future. So where we lapsed was because our doctors were busy entering, and the data was entered by the data entry people. And then the rehab part of it, நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி once a patient is shifted out of emergency to other wards or ICU, it's very difficult to pick up a case sheet and enter the data. And then finally, postmortem. We still haven't come to a consensus of how much we should enter. So, but otherwise, this Srikanth sir சொன்ன மாதிரி இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு trauma registry, it's so rich in data. It can be extrapolated any way possible. So, I think this is the lacunae, and in places where HMIS is completely implemented, these modules are being followed. So maybe the next, time we do a research, the outcome will be more positive, because now doctors will be, it's become compulsory for them to enter the modules themselves. Am I correct, Lydia?
Yes, ma'am.
You have integrated all 12 modules into the HMIS, isn't it?
Before the HMIS had come, we had developed the trauma registry.
Exactly.
So that was
We were
one
the
reason
first
why
to develop.
we had to cover all the other departments also. Now that we understand that HMIS is being rolled out, just that triage nurse, EMO1 and EMO2, we can push into the HMIS 3.0.
Exactly.
it
So that
becomes
is
easier.
the recent update for you.
So if I am permitted now, my basic opinion is HMIS is almost a digital clinical case sheet. Am I correct? By definition, HMIS is inpatient module, is a clinical case sheet, digital clinical case sheet. And trauma registry is not supposed to be the replica or replacement for a clinical case sheet. And trauma registry is supposed to be a policy tool in the hand of the system. For this sake, we work in the public health, which means the government set up a network of hospitals where there is supposed to be a state-level surveillance system. In our own, you would have gone through the government orders. In 2017, when they started THAI program, Tamil Nadu Accident and Emergency Policy, one of the government orders is to develop state-level surveillance system for all these activities. One among the surveillance system activity is trauma registry. Trauma registry is a statistical idea where state in the sense the government can implement, understand, observe so many things as far as trauma or any other emergencies are concerned. So it is a tool in the hands of the state.
Sure,
Under
sir.
some
Your point is well noted, sir. Without deviating, we'll just move on to the next question. The question that I have now is to Ravi, sir. Salem actually is a very big center, like Rajiv Gandhi Hospital, and it had a Thai center even before we started, not in the name of Thai, but emergency department.
Okay.
Now that you're catering to large number of patients and cases, how do you coordinate with your stakeholder departments? How do you make the entries possible? And what are the challenges that you have faced, sir?
Well, actually, I have to interact frequently, especially in the initial stages. There was totally non-cooperation among surgeons. நாங்கள் எதுக்கு சார் இதை பண்ணோம், இது உங்கள் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டு, நீங்கள் பண்ணிட்டு போங்க, நாங்களாம் இட்ஸ் நாட் அவர் ஜாப் டு டூ தட். They protested. So multiple times I went to HOD surgery and orthopedics and requested them, because they were all my colleagues. நாங்களாம் ஒட்டுக்கால டியூட்டி பார்த்தவங்க. ஸோ அவங்கள்ட்டலாம் நான் ரொம்ப ரிக்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணி, initially I failed. Nearly 6 months I requested my EMOஸும் பண்ண மாட்டேன்ட்டாங்க. சார் நாங்கள் சிஎம்ஓ கேஸ் பார்க்குறோம், ஏஆர் என்ட்ரி கையெழுத்து போடுறேன், அவ்வளோதான். இந்த மாடியூல் என்ட்ரி அதெல்லாம் என்னால் முடியாது சார். ஏன்னா ஈவன் பிஃபோர் ஐ ஜாயின்ட் ஃப்ரம் ஸ்டான்லிலேருந்து இங்கே ஜாயின் பண்ணுறதுக்கு முன்னாடிருந்து நாங்கள் இருக்கோம் சார். நாங்களாம் 10 இயர்ஸாக சிஎம்ஓவாக இருக்கோம். நான் ஏஆர் என்ட்ரி போடுவேன், ஹவுஸ் என்ட்ரி போட்டாங்கன்னா கையெழுத்து போடுவேன், அவ்வளோதான். இந்த கம்ப்யூட்டரில் உட்காந்து பண்ணுறதுலாம் இட்ஸ் நாட் மை ஜாப். நாங்கள் ஸோ லக்கிலி நீங்கள் யூ ப்ரொவைடட் ட்ராமா ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரி அசிஸ்டன்ஸ். 2 பேர் கொடுத்தீங்க. அப்பயே நான் ரைஸ் இந்த மீட்டிங் 2 பேர் வச்சு ஹவு கேன் ஐ ஹேவ் 24-hour என்ட்ரி போட முடியும் அப்படின்னு. ஸோ நீங்கள் ஏதாச்சும் மேனேஜ் பண்ணுங்கள் சார் நீங்கள். அப்போ இனிஷியலாக எங்களால் பண்ண முடியல. ஐ ரிக்வெஸ்ட் மை சம் ஆஃப் மை ஸ்டாஃப் நர்ஸ், தே ஆல்சோ சீனியர் ஸ்டாஃப் நர்ஸ், தே செட் நோ ஐ டோன்ட் நோ சார். அப்புறம் நான் வந்து வார்டு மேனேஜர் ஐகேடி வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் தான் வார்டு மேனேஜரை போட்டு 3rd பர்சனாக அவங்கள போட்டிருக்கேன். இப்போ 2 NHMல 2 ட்ராமா ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரி நர்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்கீங்க. ஸோ நான் வார்டு மேனேஜராக போட்டு அவங்கள வந்து ட்ராமா ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரிக்கு வந்து இப்போ போட்டிருக்கேன். தட்ஸ் வை வி ஆர் ஏபிள் டு கவர் 24 hours. சரிங்களா? ஸோ அந்த இன்னமும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா டு பி ஃப்ரேங்க், இட்ஸ் அ பிஜிஸ் ஆர் த லைக் பேக் போன் ஆஃப் எனி மெடிக்கல் காலேஜஸ். ஸோ இட் இஸ் அ ஃபஸ்ட் இயர் பிஜியோட ஒர்க் தான் வந்து அந்த மாடியூல்லாம் என்ட்ரி போடுறது. ஸோ ஐ பீரியாடிக்லி ஐ மானிட்டர். ஸோ நான் இடி சர்டிஃபிகேட் விட்டு நான் பார்க்க சொல்லும்போது இன்னமும் வந்து சில சர்ஜரி டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் ஆகட்டும், ஆர்த்தோ டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டில் என்ட்ரிஸ் இல்லாமல் இருக்கும். ஸோ ஐ பர்சனலி வந்து நான் அந்த டியூஸ்டே மீட்டிங்லேயோ ஆர் ஐ வில் சென்ட் வாட்ஸ்அப் மெசேஜ் டு மை கலீக்ஸ், சார் கொஞ்சம் பாருங்கள் சார், ஒரு ரிக்வஸ்ட் தான் பண்ணேன். இல்லை சார் நான் உடனே பார்த்து போட சொல்லிடுறேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு இந்த பேக்லாக் எல்லாமே கிளியர் பண்ணிடுறாங்க. ஸோ திஸ் வாட் ஹேப்பனிங். The problem is that inter-departmental cooperation, right, he has said that rehab learner வரலன்னு. Actually, we have given one computer. நீங்கள் வந்து டிஎன்ஹெச் சார்பில் கம்ப்யூட்டர் வந்ததில் ரேடியாலஜி கொடுத்துருக்கோம். ரேடியாலஜி டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டு சார் எங்களுக்கு வந்து நீங்கள் டேட்டா என்ட்ரி ஆப்ரேட்டர் கொடுத்தா நாங்கள் போடுவோம், இல்லாட்டி போட மாட்டேன்ட்டாங்க. அப்புறம் எங்கள் ட்ராமா அசிஸ்டண்ட் தான் வச்சு நாங்கள் போட்டுட்ருக்கோம். இப்போ லேப் அசிஸ்டன்ட் போட்டிருக்கோம், லேப் டெக்னீஷியன்ஸ். அவங்கள வந்து லேப் ஒர்க் எல்லாம் நேரத்தில் போய் நீ எக்ஸ்ரே அண்ட் சிடி வந்து நீ போட்டு விடுன்னு சொன்னதுக்கப்புறம் தான் கம்ப்யூட்டரே வாங்க மாட்டேன்ட்டாங்க. இட்ஸ் அ ரியல் ஃபேக்ட். ஸோ வி ஆர் இங்கே உட்காந்து வி கேன் மேக் லாட் ஆஃப் பாலிசி டெசிஷன், பட் ஹவ் யூ ஆர் கோயிங் டு இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட்? ஸோ பீப்புள் ஆல்வேஸ் தே லிவ் இன் த கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன். அந்த தே சம் மென்டாலிட்டி வந்து நம்ம கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோன் விட்டு வெளியே வரமாட்டோம். ஸோ ஆஸ் அ ஹெச்ஓடி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இன்ஃபேக்ட் ஐ எம் பிளானிங் டு ரன் அவே ஃப்ரம் திஸ் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட். இட்ஸ் அ ஃபேக்ட்.
Sir, you've been doing really great job, sir. We will not leave you so easily. Sir, actually, thank you for sharing all the ground reality, sir. I really accept that with you.
நான் இன்னும் ஒரே ஒரு சின்ன விஷயம், இந்த ஃபிசிக்கல் மெடிசன் அண்ட் ரீஹாபிலிட்டேஷன் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டு கம்ப்யூட்டர் கொடுத்தாச்சு. அவங்க எதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணாங்கன்னு தெரியல. பட் இந்த மாடியூலில் வந்து வி ஹாவ் டு ஹாவ் சம் ப்ரோட்டோகால் ஸோ தட் தே கேன் ஆல்சோ என்டர். ஏன்னா இப்போ இடியிலேருந்து நாங்கள் ஒன்ஸ் வெளியே போயிட்டாங்கன்னா வில் பி பிஸி வித் ஃப்ரெஷ் கேசஸ். So we don't know what's happening, the follow-up in either surgery, ortho or neurosurgery or other departments. But everybody பார்த்தீங்கன்னா PMR டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டுக்கு டெஃபினட்டாக அவங்க வந்து கால் ஓவர் கொடுப்பாங்க ஃபார் ஃபிசியோதெரப்பி. ஸோ யூ ஷுட் ட்ரை டு கேட்ச் ஹோல்ட் ஆஃப் திஸ் PMR டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் டு இன்டு திஸ் ஃபோல்ட். அப்போ தான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து இட் வில் பி அவுட்கம் எப்படின்னு நமக்கு தெரியும்.
Sure, sir. Noted, sir. Sir, ma'am, Gomati ma'am, the next question is like, if you see, ma'am is one person. She's a brand, like how sir is brand ambassador for Thai in Salem. Ma'am has been a brand ambassador for Thai for the entire country internationally, because all people who are coming from other states, nationally, internationally, we send to RGGH, and ma'am has always been there to show all the progress in Thai and the Thai registry to everyone who come. So ma'am, can you share your feedback on what they have told to you, or how you have been able to sustain?
Actually, see, the idea, yeah, as sir said, there was a lot of reluctance. எல்லாருமே ஒரு கம்ஃபர்ட் ஜோனில் தான் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறோம். நோபடி வாண்ட்ஸ் டு டூ தட் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ஒர்க். பட் ஒன்ஸ் வென் தி ரிசல்ட் இஸ் ஷோன், அது ஒரு சர்ஜரி பிஜியாக இருக்கட்டும், ஆர்த்தோ பிஜியாக இருக்கட்டும், வென் யூ ஷோ ஹிம் த ரியல் டைம் டேட்டா, see you, this patient came in such a situation, you have intervened, this person has now gone home. So you can take it as a case discussion, present it in a CME. So then they realize they get valuable data from just simply by entering the modules. So it's like one-to-one. I stopped talking to HODs, I started catching the postgraduates. So it becomes easier that way. So that was how they all started involving. And then the rest is very simple. So any person from any delegate who comes from out of state, I don't do the talking most of the time. The work is going on and they are there to see it for themselves. The protocol is being run. You have to be there to time and again, make sure the protocol is being done again and again. It has to be reminded. It has to be shown. So I think the audit part of it, I've really not gone into the audit part of it because I'm too busy trying to make sure that everybody understands Thai protocol and it's being followed. making sure that there's no delay anywhere, that no patient is held up for unwanted purpose, because Rajiv Gandhi receives anywhere between 250 patients per day, and we get the worst lot referred from all over the. So it's a lot of motivation, Lydia, and you have to show the doctors their good work and validate it. So when it comes to awards and rewards, I don't go up. I try to push somebody else up. So that is how the work, proceeds.
What are some of the feedbacks that you have received for trauma registry, ma'am?
Oh, it's all of them say it's a very difficult job. It's being done very well. The protocols are being maintained very well, especially the team from Meghalaya and Telangana. They kept on asking how the protocols were being maintained. Like you say, you keep the patient in red zone for a specified time or yellow zone for a specified time. How is the patient taken to surgery within 6 hours? So how do you coordinate? So that is the sort of questions and that is the sort of feedback which is got most of the time. That is where they seem to falter. So be it in Meghalaya or the team from Mumbai. So they kept on saying, Madam, no, it's very difficult. How do you coordinate? So as you said, sir, it is very difficult to coordinate. You have to be loud most of the time, but you are there at the end of the day. And the most important thing is, when the credit is being given, நம்ம போய் முன்னாடி நின்னு மார்த்தடிக்கவே கூடாது. That is what I have learnt in ED. So if a patient successfully goes home, the media goes with the message of surgery HOD. Plastic surgery HOD did this. And emergency takes the last line when it comes to credit. So I think that is the single mantra, sir. So it's not Gomati Karmegam, it will be somebody else up there. And of course, my team of postgraduates do get upset, but in the end, we want the work to be done.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I also have some questions for the DMS institutions. So,
ஒரே ஒரு சின்ன
Karthikeyan sir-
இதுங்க
yes, sir.
ஒரு இந்த எஸ்ஓபி மாதிரி கொடுத்துருங்க, எஸ்பெஷலி யூசர் மேனுவல். ஏன்னா there is a change in this trauma resistance. இப்போ பாருங்க, ஒரு பொண்ணு போயிட்டாப்ல, இன்னொரு பொண்ணு bringing in. ஸோ ஒரு மேக் ஷூர் தட் ஆல் தாய் சென்டர்ஸில் வந்து யூ ஹாவ் அ யூசர் மேனுவல் விச் இஸ் வெரி சிம்பிளிஃபைட். ஸோ புதுசாக ஒருத்தர் வந்தாங்கன்னா இட் வில் பி ஈஸி ஃபார் தம் டு ஃபாலோ.
ஷுவர் சார். சார் கார்த்திகேயன் சார், இப்போ பொள்ளாச்சி டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் ஹெட் குவார்ட்டர்ஸ் ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் ரீசெண்டாக நம்ம என்ட்ரி பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கோம். வாட் ஆர் சம் ஆஃப் த இன்டர்நெட் இஷ்யூஸ்?
The main problem with the DMS is manpower. Because like madam said, we in casualty we get anywhere between 150 cases to 200 every day. We don't have a specialized ED department because all the general duty doctors only will be looking at it. We have only one nurse, so 24 hours she can't enter. The manpower shortage is one of the biggest problem. Though it's a good initiative, the staff is putting even the nights she gets data from the another staffs and puts, because the manpower is it's not a complete trauma, means a level 1 care we cannot give.
Yes.
So it's a level 2 center. Entering a data itself is a very hard thing, because that staff has to, only one staff in a casualty, she'll be helping in nursing care, and also the data has to be entered.
So
All
the regular nurses who are doing the care in the emergency room, they do the data entry?
They do. One trauma registry nurse is also there.
Okay,
but
sir.
she'll be in the morning only.
Okay. Thank you,
So
sir.
it's a big manpower shortage is
Yes,
so
sir. We'll do something for that, sir,
something
soon.
has to be done.
Yes, sir. What about Arthur, sir?
Hello. The presently available trauma registry is originally developed, meant for medical college system, where there need to be 2 emergency medical officers, one meant for some other role and emergency 2 medical officers for resuscitation. Fortunately or unfortunately, our own Madras Medical College itself doesn't have that facility. So we have the for historical reasons. So பிரச்சனை வந்து EMO1 module, EMO2 module, triage module. At time at EMS is a big trouble. We need to have some DMS type of trauma registry or emergency registry.
Some modifications, sir. Yes, sir. As we are running short of time, I ask Bhavani ma'am, Stanley HOD, to give her feedback and summarize the entire panel discussion, please.
Thank you, ma'am. And good afternoon, everybody. So, as everybody told, it's with lot of constraints and including space, manpower, and the infrastructure we are working. And but please remember, this is one of the wonderful system that is available in the government setup, which really makes us really very proud. And I would like to congratulate the team who has done a wonderful job in research, because you have already spoken our minds in your presentation. I just want to, I have one question. Did you talk to any of the doctors, other department, stakeholding departments? Did you talk to the doctors? Are you entering, because you have put the persons responsible for EMO2 is emergency medical officer. Everywhere the comments are all from the non-medical persons.
We actually,
clerks,
in every hospital, we talk to the medical officer, the ED, the
No, did
nodal
they, are they
officer of
putting the entries? Did you?
Yeah, so we asked them who is actually doing the data entry in the hospital. So in most of the case, what they said was, in emergency department, mostly the trauma assistant or ED secretary will be doing the data entry. And there were some hospital, one medical officer was doing the data entry there. Some PG students and house surgeons were also doing the data entry. So this we found out there. When it comes to other area like laboratory or radiology, there the technicians were doing the data entry. So medical officers were not much into the data entry process as such.
That's what I'm telling. The variables in the current trauma registry so vast and totally medical. So it is not, the patients cannot, I mean, the persons who are doing the entries cannot understand the details. Say, for example, in EMO1 entry, there will be like medical, surgical emergency, 2 separate variables, and then you'll have bites, stings, so many things indicating the same thing. So all those can be taken off, and we can have a simple 1 or 2 variables for each drop down. That is one point. And second point is, so many modules putting in so many different places is not sustainable. We should have a single computer where we can have a single technician who can collect the data and then make the entry. And for all this, we need appropriate training and a manual for us to go back. Because when the trauma history was rolled out, I never knew what is to be done. I used to call her up and disturb her every time, Madam, idu eppadi pannom, adu eppadi pannom. So training and module is very, very important. But then what I see as the positives, so for the emergency medicine department, the census, because this is the interface between the public and the hospital. The patients enter to the emergency department. So the census that is maintained in the emergency department is very important. Now that we have this trauma registry, it is excellently done. Okay, but we have gone paperless, so a little bit of eco-friendliness is there. Because in EMO1 module, we don't have any registers for the doctors to make an entry. Whenever we want to check, we check the portal. But then the triage nurse module, we are not able to completely forgo because there are problems with the internet, and at sometimes there will be a barging in of patients. 10 patients will come together, there will be no time to enter the module. So we have a register, we take out, jot down the necessary things, and later on we make the entries. And in the patient tracking system, suppose if I want to track some patient, it's become easy. And as per NMC norms, we have to have digital records for MD postgraduates, emergency medicine postgraduates. So that is being solved because of trauma registry. And research, you said no, but we have 3 papers with us based on trauma registry. The one was done by MBBS pre-final students, where they wanted to check hypernatremia in head injury patients. So they didn't know, it was a retrospective study, they didn't know where to collect the data. I told, go to the trauma registry, you see all the head injury patients, make a note of them, and you can go back to the neurosurgery ward and take. And then our postgraduate has prepared one presentation on ED outcome, which was not accepted in one conference, but then now in the National Conference of Emergency Medicine in Chennai Trade Center, he has presented it, and he's got a participation certificate. So research is totally possible. Why it is problematic is because falsification of data. See, when 10 patients come, the sister just sees and then puts the BP. It's not the actual BP. Okay, so that is one problem when, why the research cannot totally depend on the trauma registry details. And then, okay, now, data loss. So whenever there is a server problem in the TNHSP, or there is an internet service provider problem, totally for 48 hours, we get locked up. And then we go back and do the entries, but then the forward flow of that data gets blocked. So that is a real problem. Madam was telling we have to use AI. So we have tried we are trying to go EMO 2 non-admitted cases paperless, ma'am. So we have designed a non-internet based app so that patients who are getting admitted will get into this trauma registry. But those who go as OP, all these yellow cases, half of them will get admitted, half of them will be sent as OP. For that, we have an app. We are going to introduce it in the next month. So where we will record the data so that that is also possible. So that will, we can go near the patient and anybody who's taking the data can put it in the phone and that will be connected to our computer. So that is always possible. And the main problem is lack of insight and lack of understanding of the persons. So this is not some overwork. When we introduced a trauma registry, the nurses came and told me, Madam, idala enna panna sonninga na settu poiduven. I told, serious, this was the first, they all made a dharna in front of the matron office telling, புதுசா ஒரு மேடம் வந்திருக்காங்க கம்ப்யூட்டர்லலாம் எங்களை வேலை செய்ய சொல்றாங்க. Trauma nurse, Thai nurse, Thai trained nurse. So in the lack of insight is the main problem. It is not lack of manpower, lack of infrastructure. அதெல்லாம் ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. The mindset கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா மாறிடும். You were told in your study, we have increased now. And last one point, இப்போ நம்ம அந்த TAN Quest அப்படின்னு ஒரு இது பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அதில் வந்து they told about the importance of communication. I think we have to use the TAN Quest platform to tell that even documentation is very important. We should conduct some program for that so that it will be incorporated into everyday's life. So that's my view. Thank you, ma'am.
So now I understand how you were able to do 9,000 data. Give her a big hand. In Stanley Medical College, Madam is able to do lot of registries. Now, this is why I am saying this has come out very successfully is if you say Komati Karmegam, she is a very good trainer. She has created lot of TOTs on resuscitation, emergency resuscitation skills. And Dr. Srikanth was the person who was the brain behind this entire trauma project. So, and we have had lot of practical difficulties we have heard from the district headquarters hospital, and that's a wonderful discussion. I now invite Dr. Josephine JD Madam to honor the dignitaries on the dais. Please, Madam. Please. And thank you, Lydia, for a patient moderating the session. Thank you very much. No problem. Yes. Moderator first. Yes, Lydia. You can just pass it on. On the spot registration. So, we'll now break out for lunch. For want of time, half an hour. Okay. By 2:30, I think we should be inside the hall because we have 3 more sessions to go. And we will start with adolescent anemia as the first session.